Guess what? We're back with the OPL Promotion Tournament. I am Asterix, and it wouldn't be the beautiful cast without my friend Mendrix here, our famous OPL analyst. We're about to jump into the best of three between the last remaining contenders. That's XL5, that's Tainted Minds. The winner of this series goes back into the OPL. The loser into the OCS. So it's not all bad news, or is it, Mendrix?
It is actually just sort of bittersweet news if you think about it. You got the crazy music in the background, the sort of dramatic,
Not that crazy,
the dramatic
yeah.
pretense, and it really is, like I said, a bittersweet moment for these teams. One, like you mentioned, going to the OCS, the other going to the OPL, and really sort of a battle for survival between these two teams now, because both of them previously were in the OPL, so it really is sort of a downgrade and back into what you want to sort of rebuild into the next split.
Now, of course, both these teams coming through have defeated Outlaws. Of course, at the start of the tournament, it was Tainted Minds to push themselves further in that winner's bracket. Of course, in XL5's last game, it was a struggle, but 2-1. They do take the series, so here we are. Into the first game, into the first champion select. Lee Sin away from Only, and let's return the favor. Just get rid of Cassiopeia.
That'll just be the quick way for them to go for it. Instead, going for the Thresh. We did see T-Gun play amazingly yesterday on the Thresh. Actually had 100% kill participation by the end of that game, so that's a bit of respect coming through directly there. But Lee Sin, Thresh makes perfect sense for both these guys to start the target bans off with some of their stronger players.
And of course, into 7.6, I mean, there are a lot of changes, but none bigger than, you know, what's going up into that top lane now. The Shen has been prioritized over the last couple of patches at least, walking away from that Maokai. Of course, Little Cop's out of the competition, so we're not going to see that too much anyway. But the priority in that top lane, you know, more of the Fioras, more of the Shens, even, you know, not the Gallios, I don't think, but a real different change in meta. We are going to see the Fizz banned away, another champion that's come into the top lane, and the Blitz Crank from T-Gun. You may as well just get rid of all of T-Gun's champions.
Yeah, the next thing you're probably going to see is like a Zyra come through. No, it's going to be the Cassiopeia.
We got there.
A lot of target bangs really for these teams right off the bat, and it makes sense. They've seen a lot of them play throughout the entire series, not only just in the OPL, but also in this promotion tournament, and it makes sense for them to sort of see who's been performing the best, who's sort of had the biggest bang for buck when it comes to efficiency in these champions, and they've really nailed it down. And in terms of what they've gone for, they've really targeted only and played it heavily on XL5. And then TM are just hitting T-Gun and Christmas trees, which I might end up hurting them a little bit because there's a lot of carries available for 5-to-way still available, and you need to respect the Camille. You need to respect his cannon. This is something that he can pop off on, so I expect him probably to have a bit of an extra performance this time around.
It's a great point, you know, taking those bans away specifically from T-Gun. 2 bans towards the support may be an overestimation. Right now, the Rengar gets locked in. Like you said, it could hurt them out. The Lulu, the Graves, however, in the red side contested picks. The Graves for only, Succession, of course, tilting on the Lulu. I think this is his 3rd game in the tournament that he's picked this up.
It really just seems to be priority picks coming through. I mean, Graves, Lulu, pretty much are, you know, first pick or even ban in terms of the priority that you're looking at. So for them on Tainted Minds to get those, we know Only can play Graves. He's had some pretty good effects when he is playing it, and some close calls. So he's a good power farmer. I expect to see him do some great things this game. I'm going to be surprised to see what they decide to put Braydiff on, seeing as they've taken away quite a few of his champions he likes. Would love to see a Fiora, actually. Wouldn't mind if that actually comes through today.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been banned, but to pick that up now, potentially not many things that can deal with it, but Braydiff going onto that comfort. We have seen a measure of success for both of these sides when they pick up reasonably the same champions.
Yeah.
Like the Caitlyn, like the Karma. I mean, T-Gun's backup champion. He has lost 2 of his supports already, but Crazy going the Caitlyn is nothing new.
Exactly that. We see him, he has played it quite a fair bit. I guess you could say he's comfortable with it now because that's the one he's been playing on the most recently.
Absolutely.
In terms of looking at TM's ADCs available to them, I wouldn't be surprised if I actually see a Kog'Maw coming through because you do have that Lulu combination and synergy in the bot lane, and when you do have such a heavy, strong, sort of defensive, well, not defensive, aggressive jungler who can sit in the back line along with him, making it harder for you to just jump into it with that beefy Nautilus front line. They've got themselves a good composition coming at the moment.
Yeah, they do sacrifice the Fiora, but they ban it away straight off the bat. So coming into this second ban phase, I want to see if they actually give Christmas trees the victor, or if they take that one away, because we know he popped off on it. He went 10-0 and 8. Like, that is just, you know, this guy's improving throughout the tournament, through the OPL. He got the later end of those stages in the mid lane, but now that he's sort of settled into this X5 lineup, he's starting to prove his worth.
That's right, and it seems to be one of those cases where you keep on playing with a team, you keep on scrimming, you start to see those, you get an idea of how their gameplay works, what they're going to do in certain situations. Sort of, I guess you could call it the Jedi mind reading to a degree.
That's just because the trailer came out, Hendrix. Don't get too excited. Don't get too excited.
Pretty happy about that trailer coming out, but I digress. Coming to the composition here, Christmas Trees has been showing his worth. A few questionable flashes in the games yesterday, but this is a brand new series, so I can't wait to see what he does.
We'll
with the choices available, I mean, Syndra's still up. I would have, definitely a great blind pick. These mid laners haven't really used, haven't picked up yet, so that's something they could go for.
Squidgy doesn't be looking for anything too rash this time. You know, he's played the Tristana. Sorry, never look at a hover. It's going to be the Tristana once again. And Squidgy, I think that's the second or third time he's picked that up in the OPL.
Yeah, Tristana is actually a Squidgy special. Yep. We know that this guy always likes to hover it every single time before he does make a pick. So the fact that he didn't actually hover it first meant that he decided to go for the pick afterwards. So I think we found the pattern with Squidgy. We know what he's going to do when he's going to pick certain champions. As I mentioned before, mid lane has been picked up. Syndra's always a great first pick in terms of a great blind pick.
Absolutely.
If you don't know what you're going to go into. And we know Christmas Trees can play it to a good effect. So that is a great pick up there.
We also know that 5-8 can play the Gragas, right? And the Gragas has been, a favourite for 5-8 because he's had some targeted bans. The Kled keeps on coming in the second ban phase because 5-8 in the X5 lineup doesn't seem to be a priority for them. They look at the top lane and they say, let's just get rid of the carries, keep it safe. They run the Gragas composition, and it looks like, yes, with the Karma Inspired, there's going to be a lot of speed up, there's going to be a lot of momentum. But they don't have the Lulu, but they've still got the heavy frontlining Gragas.
Yeah, when I look at the team that XL5 have put together, I look at a lot of just lane priority being put in place. There isn't some sort of clear composition. It's just a whole bunch of strong champions. You got, Syndra's going to do well in mid lane. You do have priority in the bot lane as well because you've got the Karma to push you out. Caitlyn's going to be bullying out Tristana early, so they're going to win there. Rengar's pretty effective in his own right. He's going to be able to power farm, keep up with Graves as well. And really with those two, if they meet each other in the jungle, it comes down to whoever finds who first. If you get Rengar is allowed to jump on to Graves first, he should be able to win that trade. Vice versa, if Graves sees Rengar coming and he manages to get his smoke screen off, he'll win there. So really these guys might be high-fiving a little bit, probably a little bit of contention coming through.
Just looking at the pick and ban. Thank you very much for doing that. Okay, the lobby has disbanded. A couple of technical difficulties. I'm sure they'll jump back in shortly. Ahri is the last pick up in the mid lane as they swap about 2 seconds before we finish. Ahri going up against Syndra. I mean, we've said this time and time again. It's the faker matchup. Pick the Ahri. Yes, it will have to require a bit of skill, but it's still very possible. And we've seen Ahri's flourish under conditions of Syndra.
So what I like about the Ahri pickup is that she's actually pretty solid going into any lane as well. She's a decent blind pick as well as the Syndra. Syndra does typically win that matchup early, just naturally will bully you out. So Ahri needs to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more mobile around the map, making sure she doesn't take free hits that is available from Syndra. Whereas she's waiting for that level 6, she does have more pick potential in comparison to Syndra. If she does manage to land that charm, she can basically blow her up as well. So really these guys are going to be sitting back and waiting for that one moment when they land that crucial skill shot.
Oh, we just had a quick problem in Champ Select where players couldn't switch between champions. So we are going to remake that lobby, have a couple of minutes or two, and then shortly jump into the game after that. So I want to come back to the team composition because the Ahri has been used in very diverse styles. We have seen the 1-4 composition with Nautilus running in the top lane and using that pushing pressure of Ahri in mid. But they can also run a 1-3-1, and a lot of the Ahris are putting out the Hextech Gunblade. They're going for... Don't laugh at that. They're going for, they're going for very diverse builds, with the Abyssal, with something that gives them a bit of movement speed and adds to that Spirit Rush escape.
That's right. And with these guys coming through, it will be same picks, same band. So nothing's going to be changing. So these team compositions will be exactly the same as you mentioned.
Yep.
It is good when you mention that with Ahri that it has a bit of versatility in that it can be run with a 1-3-1. Typically, you don't really see it because the thing is that she's not the best split pusher.
Yep.
She's great at assassinating anyone that comes her way, has the ability to 2v1, probably won't get any kills. If it is a 2-on-1, she'll be able to escape though. That's the big thing with her mobility that she provides. So if she manages to put the pressure out and her team gains objectives off the back of that, that's a sort of big win and a good effect of having Ahri on the team. But when it does get towards that late game, when we're talking the super late game and everyone's grouped up as 5s, Syndra tends to win out in those situations because the thing is that she's got more AoE damage in comparison to Ahri, whereas Ahri, she's got that nice focus damage. So it really is going to be a bit of a tough matchup for the Ahri going into Syndra.
And it's definitely the matchup we want to watch because in the mid lane, like we said, Christmas Trees has developed and he has diversified on those champions. Now picking up the Syndra, something he's well and truly comfortable on. I mean, if you're not comfortable on a Syndra, do you really play League of Legends? That's a real question.
She really is a staple at the moment in the mid lane. If you can't play Syndra and you want to be a mid laner, you're doing something wrong. Believe me, she's really great just to grab any single time. I mean, I haven't seen her get played in the top lane as well to great effect recently. So really, she's a strong champion at the moment.
Top lane, Syndra. Was that a competitive game?
No,
Metrics?
it was not a competitive
it definitely
game. But
wasn't.
it's still success. So, if it works.
And who does she destroy in that top lane?
Heimendinger.
Great fact. If you ever want to play Heimendinger in the top lane, think again. If we look at that mid lane and we look at the other side, Wizard has proven himself. Of course, going down 0-2 to Regicide in their last series, Tainted Minds have to prove themselves here. I mean, everything's on the line. It's a best of 3 series. And of course, 2 losses, you're out. You go into the OCS. That means XL5 will advance. Of course, X5 have had a shaky run in the OPL this split. And you at home would know that they hadn't won a series until yesterday. They picked up their first series win. We congratulated them on it. And, in all honesty, against Outlaws, they looked fine. They looked strong. If they can do the same thing against Tainted Minds, I don't see why they cannot bring it to them. But then again, Tainted Minds, have a really strong bottom lane. So it's on the fence, but I think there needs to be a lot of shutting down for Tainted Minds roster so XL5 can get ahead.
When I look at these teams as a whole, what I find particularly is there's a lot of fundamentals that need to be worked on. I mean, with these guys, they have these 5-minute moments of brilliance, and they sort of need to piece that together into a 30-minute game. If they can actually do that, that's when they're starting to look a lot better in terms of if they do make it back to the OPL, because this is something that you need to do consistently throughout it. I mean, XL5, they're great with their team fights. They do a good job when they seem to either trade champions across or in the end, or even come out in front. But the problem is they always do it in positions where they can't get objectives off the back of it. Tainted Minds, on the other hand, run a really mean 1-3-1 if they do decide to go for it, or they're actually pretty good at a death ball composition when they do get squidgy stronger, and that seems to be what they're rolling in this particular team composition. When you do get a Tristana and a Lulu, you basically want to group as one and allow Tristana to destroy everyone through. So this time around, instead of it being a 1-3-1, it's going to be probably a death ball composition, probably built around Tristana.
But we've always said with XL5, they do want to get ahead early because that's their win condition is they start snowballing, but then they just don't continue the ball rolling. So with this team composition here, I feel like it's a little bit more stock standard. Having that Syndra in the mid lane is a great start in Christmas trees to get ahead and keep that ball rolling. But XL5, they just fall behind. There's a couple of mistakes, and it kind of just brings it back. And I think mentally, it's taking a big strain on them because they just feel like after that 20-minute mark, they just don't know what to do, or they just don't know how to play to that advantage.
And it goes back to what I said before. There wasn't particular synergies that stand out in this XL5 composition that go into place. I mean, with Gragas, it's great when he does throw out an explosive cast and that knocks a member into the whole team. And they can just gobble it up like piranhas normally do. And when a piece of meat comes flying their way. But the big thing that I want to note into is that exactly. bit of a pretty graphic analogy there, but I digress. So the big thing about it is that with that team composition, they should be winning every single lane. And then because they don't have any sort of major power factor going into that late game, you'll probably find that Tainted Minds will probably steamroll them if this game goes late. So they really do need to sort of win within that 30-minute mark or get a sizable advantage to the point where they've got enough dragons. They basically have full Baron control past that 30-minute mark if they want to win this game.
But the Gragas going into the Nautilus is going to be a struggle, right? Because Nautilus' laning phase.
It's pretty similar between the two. They both facilitate the same roles in what they do. What I really like about having the Gragas, though, is that if he does, he's able to sustain in lane pretty effectively against the Nautilus. But both of these guys will be sitting back and just probably having a wet noodle fight in that top lane.
As you usually do going into the Nautilus. Of course, Praetor, we were expecting maybe pick up a carry up in that top lane, but he sticks to something strong, suitable, and insinuate that front line again. My concern is Guts got Rengar, and the one champion that he flourishes on is the Rengar. Now, you look at his Vi experience. Yes, it was out of the blue. It was surprising. But when you go back to stock standard, when you run, it's not a Lulu Rengar, but it's still a Karma Rengar, and it still helps him get in there. So I'm still looking for Guts to carry. I'm still looking for him to step up for his team. Of course, the bottom lane for X5 is a focus point when I want to talk about a little bit later. But Guts right now, going into Tainted Minds jungler, going into Only, who's picked up the Graves, I am a little bit concerned that Only might just outclass him here.
So in terms of what happens, Only doesn't even need to outclass Guts here. He just needs to make sure he keeps him at an arm's length.
Okay.
If he can do that, he will outfarm him. That's what Graves is typically known for, his ability to power farm to a degree. Rengar needs to be a lot more proactive. He's pretty good at farming himself, but he still needs to actually get those kills out there, or eventually Graves will just basically steamroll him towards the late game. We've seen it happen with Mubo. He basically tried to be proactive. He was fall behind about roughly 130 CS, and it's just something that happens when you go up against Graves. He's just going to be a power farming monster.
Exactly right. As we do, if you have just joined us here, wow, you've got a treat, because you know what? The last spot for OPL is up for grabs. And we just had to remake the lobby, but shortly we will be jumping into the game. Before we do Mendrix, let's come back to that bottom lane, however. XL5, that has been the biggest rate of improvement down there, I think we can say. You know, Crazy continuously picking up the Caitlyn. T-Gun will pick up something cheese, like the Thresh or like the Blitzcrank. This time has gone for the Karma. You know, it does feel like the bottom lane is some kind of win condition. So how do you rotate? How do you set up for the bottom lane? Or do you just leave it in this case because it is a Caitlyn?
I reckon you can actually leave it in this case. What I'd like to see them do is sort of say, okay, we're going to sit them there. They're going to be powerful, probably around that. You need to hit them just as they're hitting level 6. This is the thing. So if I was doing it, if I was going to be the Guts in this sort of situation, I'm going to be trying to sort of keep up with Graves to the point that I'm remaining around the same level mark. And then when I do see my lane hit that level 6 point where they're going to have that nice power spike and they'll be in front, because they should be, because they've got lane priority, that's when I can either, I'll jump down, drop a ward, get 5 to 8 to teleport in and go for a 4-man gank and sort of catch them by surprise before they have a chance to do anything. Because really with Squidgy, he's going to be taking a while to scale up depending on what build he decides to go for. It is a bit hard going into Lulu because she does have the ability to do a lot of protection, but with a Rengar, and if you follow that through with a decent sort of follow-up, they should be able to whittle them down and just absolutely take them by surprise with a 4-man gank early.
Well, let's see in this game 1 if they do focus that bot lane and use that level 6 margin to their advantage. XL5 versus Tainted Minds. Start of the series, game number 1. Whose cuisine reigns supreme? It's the Master Chef Gragas.
So they did this last time.
The exact same, in fact. The exact same.
Yeah, the exact same thing. Last time they managed to get a good amount of chip damage onto a Poppy, and it was effective to a degree.
Just walked away.
Yeah, they walked away. But the big thing is that all of a sudden you lose a lot of pushing power on that level 1 with the Gragas, and now basically Praydef will be able to push him in if he decided to take Riptide first instead of going for a Dredge line. So I expect probably an early level 2 coming through for Praydef, and that gives only the opportunity to actually make something happen. As you can see, they put their ward in the process of doing that. I think that's why they decided to level the body slam first. They said jump in. Yep, we can see exactly what Praydef is going to be doing now, or what Only's doing. So this means that 5-8 needs to be really careful.
Yep.
Because what Only can do is just take his red buff and go straight towards that top side immediately. 5-8, it's been a little bit of a...
He started slam. Yeah, get him. That's like, you want lane authority? I'll give you lane authority.
Lane authority?
Yeah. No, that's it. You know, like, you hit your belt. Imagine
it is lane authority, I guess you could say.
If you're in public and you're like on a train or something, you just body bop into the carriage and run into someone. Do you now have authority in that carriage? Or do you go, or do the police catch you and you go to...
I think you have authority, but then you're also a bit of a horrible person.
Yeah, but the main thing is
like
you
just
have authority.
like randomly running into people and just body slamming them in a train carriage.
Oh, Tilty going to get tethered here. Not too much damage. Crazy's going to go in, going to take the charge. Couple of shots from Squidgy after getting a headshot himself. Playing hard to get right now, the Tainted Minds bottom lane, but after using a pot, and after T-Gun misses the inner fire, they're going to continue to push up, and Only now on this top side, but Guts gets pretty low. And that is a denial really early, and the blue buff going to be stolen away. Very proactive from Only.
Yeah, Only really did a good job there in terms of what happened. Rengar does have a bit of a difficulty getting through that first clear, whereas Graves does not have that issue, especially if you get a good leash from Praydef like he did. And so he basically said, yep, I'm going to take this, take my red, and just invade Guts before he has a chance to go for his blue. So he's going to have the ability to actually 3-buff him now. I expect him to go straight to his own blue and make sure that's not being taken away. And he's going to have a really good start going into Guts this game.
Denying that blue away, like we said, Only doing what you said, Ben. Just going to be going down to his own blue. Give it to Wizard, or just give it to himself.
Nah, be greedy,
get
mate.
the level advantage.
Take it. Just keep it yourself. Wizard doesn't need it this early in the game.
You know those junglers that give like a 4-minute blue buff because they're like, I'll get my mid lane ahead. All right.
Oh, here we go. This is...
Wizard almost walks in. Lucky they didn't give the blue buff over.
I think no, they were thinking about it. You could tell there was a thought about it there. That's why he made the move across, but Christmas Trees is ready to go. This is a great play. This is a great play.
But there's T-Gun over the side. This could be an interesting first blood. Blast Cone hit by Squidgy. Scatter the Weak is there. First blood after Thunderlords. X5, great rotation. They're looking for a second kill. Tilting has to flash. Christmas Trees goes in for the auto attack. Misses the Q, but Crazy gets a kill. And it's 2 off the bat to X5.
I just really love the chain of events that caused this to happen. So the reason why they were able to make that play on the blue buff was because they had lane priority in the bot lane. The reason why Only was able to get the blue buff of X5 was because they had priority in the top lane. That's typically what happens. But XL5 capitalized off this so much more in the process of it because they also have lane priority in the mid lane. This allows Christmas Trees to be there as well. All of a sudden, they get their buff back. They get 2 kills for it as well. And there's a wave crashing into that lane that Squidgy's going to miss out on a little bit of CS for. So this is a really good start for X5.
And a good start for their team composition because, as you said, Mendrix, it's all about making sure Tainted Minds do not get late. With this Tristana, Nautilus, the Ahri. Let's make sure we steamroll them early so they don't steamroll us late. You've now got the bottom lane behind, only able to get that Vampiric Scepter against a BF sword for Crazy. This Caitlyn coming online earlier than a Tristana could be really detrimental for Tainted Minds.
And I really do want to touch on Christmas Trees here because he went into lane, when facilitated that gank, got an assist, got a kill, did all that. He's only 3 CS behind, 2 CS behind now. So really for him to go through, do all that work and still be in relatively the same amount of CS as Wizard is a great position to be in. Really well played there by X5.
Guts now in this top side after getting Scuttle Crab, could be looking mid. Wizard doesn't have ult, nor does Christmas Trees. Starting to do some damage, went back and rushed the Magipen shoes. So the Sork shoes going to come in handy, but Negatron Cloak picked up by a Wizard. He's not going to take any chances. Go straight for the Abyssal Scepter. Expecting Christmas Trees to be going for that, what am I thinking of? Mendrix Lost Chapter. Bit of sustain.
Yeah, it's good for them to have it there. It does have the ability, has the advantage now as well. These guys just going to be skirmishing, looking for trades here in the bot lane. And I do want to note as well, we're looking at summoners at this moment in time. Christmas Trees is down his flash, whereas Wizard is up his at the moment. So there's an opportunity for a play to be made there if he decides to bring Only up. In terms of the bot lane, Tilting is missing his flash, so there's the opportunity for Guts to make something happen, especially if he hits some pre-6 before he has that get-out-of-free wild growth card. And
use the summoners, yeah.
Yeah, really, so that's like the next step, really. You have to make sure that you have to use the summoners and look at it. And Christmas Trees, I do like how he's decided to go for the spell penetration boots. It is a form of outplay. He's basically saying having that extra movement speed means he can dodge all the skill shots coming through from Wizard. But
taking Ghost on the Syndra with an Ahri, do you think Cleanse would have been a better pickup, or do you think that the Ghost is meant to insinuate that he's going to be moving around the map?
In terms of that there, you really want to pick up Cleanse if there's 2 big CC sort of hits that you could have there. You've got the Charm, but then if you look at Squidgy, he's got a knockback. If you look at Praetor, he's got a Snare, which really isn't that big. It is a knock-up as well. He's got a lot of CC on the side of that, but none of it's really stopped by Cleanse. Like, effectively, he's going to get his CC on you anyway.
But not worth for
It's hard CC, yeah.
Okay.
And then in terms of that as well, then you've got Tilting. He's got a slow and also a knock-up. An auction.
Spirit Rush Charm, miss, Mendrick. No way, the ultimate. Only's there. Praetus came from nowhere.
So the point that I want to make there is I don't think Cleanse would have helped him out in that situation.
Well, the charm missed, so everything else was fair game.
Like, we were talking about all the things. Like, I was going through all the CC popularity. I think there's also the Polymorph on Lulu's side. And really what you saw there is the fact that I don't think Cleanse would have done much for him. So he really needed to be out of that range.
He didn't use the Ghost either, so that summon is still going to be available, but Christmas Tree's getting bullied early. Means that Lost Chapter will be picked up by Wizard when he goes back. He now has a sustain after getting a couple of pots as well. Those boots, okay. 0-0 and 1 on the Ahri, but has that CS advantage. Look at the mid lane. Now, a really good point for Wizard. I think he'll have a much easier time in lane. Level advantage as well.
Yeah, so the thing is, the ultimate is now down for Wizard, so Christmas Trees have the ability when he does come back into lane, if he lands 1 stun, he can basically all in him, especially with the fact that he has gone for that last chapter, as you mentioned. He's got a lot more kill pressure onto Wizard than vice versa. That's why Wizard needed the rest of his team to make that play work. And to be honest, not that much pressure was lost around the map when they made that move, so it was an effective play by Tainted Minds. And, I mean, you can really see it with 5-2. He's gone 3 Dawn Rings at the moment. So he's actually feeling a bit pressured by Praetor for him to actually decide to opt in for more, I guess if you say, early presence.
Or he's just doing the Pabu build. I mean, Pabu did this in you know, the Abyss versus Tainted Minds
I don't
game.
have a good buyback. I'm just going to get another Doran's Ring.
He just got triple Doran's Ring and then started going into, was it Iceborne? I can't remember, but...
Yeah,
the
typically you do. Well, he was going up against Shen, I believe. That's why he was going in for the Iceborne or decided to opt in for Armor.
I was just fun.
Going up against Nautilus, he will be opting into a Spirit Visage early.
Yep.
Because really, once he does get to that point, or once he finishes his Spirit Visage, there's no way Praetor can force him out of lane. He'll just be chugging his drinks, using that happy hour passive to keep himself healthy.
Yeah, but I mean, top lane's still going good for XL5. It's nice and smooth at the moment. CS lead is growing, but Nautilus is going to come back to catch this wave up in the top lane. Mid looking for some roam opportunities. Maybe available for Wizard here as he gets the Charm, gets the Thunderlord's Brock, has Spirit Rush available, but isn't going to follow this one up. We were talking in the earlier parts of the game about Guts potentially looking at that bottom lane and finding a condition to get them ahead, but Crazy and T-Gun doing fine. Doesn't really go for any kind of advantage down there because it's already been created by the Caitlyn and the Karma. Guts looks elsewhere on the map. He has his ult available.
I would like him to make a move down there. As you can see, he's actually going for it now.
Curse.
I'm going to see, we do have a teleport play available. They are weaker. Christmas Trees is making their way down. This could be a 5-man game coming through. If he drops the ward, expect a teleport to come through immediately.
Going to spot out 2 members. And Mendrix called the teleport on the level 8 Nautilus. 5 to 8 also can respond. Charm misses. Could be an opportunity. They do get the Charm missing off the side of Wizard. Christmas Trees will take a smoke screen, walk away. XL5 still push up in this bottom lane. This has not deterred them.
Has not yet, though 5 to 8 now. He's actually got control here. And I think the big thing about this was so they could actually get more chip damage onto this tower. I expect them to make a move on this soon. Either A, put another pressure play on that point in time, so forces Tainted Minds to back away. They can basically finish the debt. They're going in for Christmas Trees again, though.
Again, he gets exhausted. Use the ultimate, but they still get the kill. Collateral damage not even needed, but only gets the kill. We're now going to push the turret.
Okay, so that's a moment where having cleanse would have been better.
But are you sure, though? Because the charm missed.
The exhaust, yes, but still, here we go. They're making a play down in the bot lane, though.
Looking for first turret blood. Tainted Minds might lose this one out. One more auto's all that's necessary. Crazy gets it. Now they engage. Guts goes on to tilting. Has to use wild growth, but a headshot, a flash, a Q, and T-Gun gets the kill. Forces the flash. And Tainted Minds will not be able to respond. They get the mid turret, but it is not first turret blood. X5 still lead with gold.
And now it all comes down to what these guys decide to do off the back of that. They can either, Tainted Minds, they can either make a move towards that top side of the map, make sure they've got established control and see if they can actually get that tower down. XL5 will push that lane up and rotate their bot lane towards the top side. Because when you've got a Caitlyn, it's all about keeping that pressure up where you're still strong. I imagine they're going to get the Dragon off the back of this. There they are doing it now. So XL5 are definitely doing a great job at the moment to beat Tainted Minds into the ground.
This is very surprising. I mean, because you look at Tainted Minds, they are the 6th seed coming into this tournament. XL5, yes, they've had a bit of a rigid run, but performing well in this early game. Can they keep that momentum, however? Because, you know, Guts has got 3 assists. He's got Warrior now, but you've got 2 kills on only. A concerning factor if you are XL5 right now. Christmas Trees has been shut down a couple of times before he can get ahead, really. The bottom lane doing well. So XL5 in some kind of momentum. They've still got that gold lead. They got the first turret and they got the first dragon, which Mendrix, I believe, was Infernal.
It was an Infernal, so, which means they'll be scaling well towards the game. And it's exactly what they need. These are the type of dragons they need to remain relevant with Tainted Minds because Squidgy is a ticking time bomb. That's the big thing about it. That guy can definitely put the whole team on his back if it gets late enough in the game, especially with the protection he has. He's got a Nautilus to be a good front line. Lulu can basically keep him strong, especially with that Whimsy as well. And basically with the speed up, the shield, and the ultimate, that's going to be one strong Tristana in the middle of the late game team fights. And
he's just finished his Blade of the Ruined King. Down bottom lane, however, 5 to 8. He's going to get teleported on.
He's got Flash?
Coming in. Has Flash, just explosive cast. Flashes now. Spirit Rush used. How many ultimates are you going to need? You got to finish him off, however, and only has the collateral damage. Has the Flash, misses it. Takes the turret shot. 5 to 8. Very well played.
Very well played indeed. And all of a sudden, XL5 have got way more pressure across the map. I mean, look at the summoners that ended up being burnt there by only had to use his flash to sure to make something happen here. Sure, they are trading turrets here, but they do not have the inside track. XL5 can even go for another turret off the back of this. So,
this is
5 to 8 surviving there did such a great job. Did such a great job.
I just said massive without even thinking about it. Tainted Minds going to lose their tier 2 turret top. The gold lead is expanding. XL5 are having a very good start to the game. Almost out-macroing Tainted Minds at this point. which I didn't think I would say in this series. 5 to 8 will spot out that Krugs are going down, but he's going to catch the wave down bottom. He's still, what is that, 11, almost 15 CS. It's going to be a lot more. We've got CS ahead on this Gragas. He's got the Spectre's Cowl now after picking up the Ninja Tabby. And all in all, XL5 playing towards that early game a little bit more. But Tainted Minds, you know, they still have that momentum late game if they can get there. But will XL5 let them?
Well, XL5 right now are doing a great job of speeding up the game to the point where they'll hit all their power spikes at a decent point before TM can really get rolling. They've got the extra Infernal, meaning that extra gold will mean so much more on top of that. And the fact is, they've got that map pressure now. They can really just throw Gragas up in the top lane, really just allow them to keep pushing that out, and they can just keep on chipping away at objectives because Caitlyn and Karma have got really good in that sort of sense.
Unfortunately, we do have a pause, however, but we will jump back in the game. Essentially, you know we will. We're not lying to you. As we come and look at this Caitlyn down at the bottom lane, like Crazy finally having the game that he deserves, picking it up time and time again, not being as successful as we would have hoped. This time, it's okay. He's ahead. You know, he's got the BF Sword. He's going to go back. I'm not sure if he just picked up the Renan's Hurricane, but, you know, going into that second item now, Blade of the Ruin King on Squidgy. So both these 80 carries, you could say, are both ticking time bombs. I mean, Squidgy more so.
No, definitely Squidgy's more so.
The Tristana has popped off before. You saw the series against Outlaws. That in itself was a ticking time bomb.
And really, you know, when I look at this XR5 composition as well, they actually have really good siege. Syndra's got a decent amount of poke. You've got the traps from Caitlyn. She's also naturally a great sieger on her own right because of her extra range. So and Graggy as well. Graggy's always good. But what's good about Graggy in a siege is if you decide to go for that final push, you can just throw your explosive cast, knock the entire team away and go, sweet, destroy the tower and back off. That's the good thing about having Graggy. So you don't even need to take the team fight to finish off the turret. You can just basically negate the team with one ultimate.
We're back. Mendrix.
What was that accent?
It was Palpatine. I don't know.
Palpatine.
He never says that. You started with the Star Wars references. I'm ending with them.
I wonder what Snoke sounds like. I can't remember the new big bad.
I don't even know what he is. He's just an overgrown human being who's like 10 foot tall.
There's a bit of a, I guess you could call it a theory that apparently it's Anakin's evil twin brother. I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that came from. It's a theory. It's a very far-fetched one.
People reckon it's Master Windu.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyway, as we jump back into game.
Really? I don't think that'd be the case. I think he kind of got killed, but...
No, Medrix, no he did. Well, you saw him fall off. Windu is Samuel Jackson, right? Okay. All right, anyway. As we jump back into the game, 3K gold lead developing. XL5 here are really just taking control of this early game. We're 15 minutes in. They've picked up 3 kills, and those 3 kills going towards the bottom side of the map. Christmas Trees has just finished Morellonomicon, and almost Renan's picked up for Crazy. Looking forward to that Infinity Edge, though, because I feel like that is when this guy is just going to start popping off.
Yeah, he will be finishing off the Runans first, and really that's when you get the synergy between the 2 items, when you have one crit item and then the Infinity Edge is sort of enhanced by that. And then typically after that you go for a rapid fire cannon to give you that little bit of extra movement speed and that extra pop shot that is just so annoying to deal with. So really at the moment it's hit I guess you could call it a turning point in the game, or a bit of a fork in the road where these guys are waiting to make one play on each other.
T-Gun almost finding Praedyth. XL5 now grouping as a 4-man unit mid. You got the Gragas up in the top lane with teleport available and ultimate. Praedyth going for the dredge line. If they do get a pick here, they could find something. You've got Bork on the Tristana, and he will be doing a lot of DPS to start the game off.
So TP is available for 5 to 8 at the moment. As you can see, he's just sort of pushed that wave up just slowly past it. I think what he's going to do is just have a quick check on his team. See, are you guys okay? They're not running at your faces just yet. Excellent. We'll keep this up. Here we go. There's a bit of a run there. They managed to get a catch.
Dredge line. Crazy has the flash out. Christmas Trees gets bursted on. Tilting gets the kill. Now T-Gun's caught out as well. Not before Crazy can go down. The resets on Squidgy. And a double kill already for the Lulu support. And XL5 just get caught out.
And this is the problem when you do decide to go for a 4-1 and Tainted Minds is sit there as purely as
we do go for another pause.
Purely as, you know, as a 5-man unit. And that's what happens. The strength of Nautilus when he does manage to land that dredge line is just absolute anarchy.
So we saw that coming.
We did see that coming to a degree. And the thing was, there was no response there from 5 to 8. He didn't even bother to, you know, come down, assist anything. And that's why it ended up being just a massive whitewash when it's 5-on-4 with a catch, you're pretty much gone after that.
Of course, Tatum Mind's finding the fight that puts them, closer into that late game stage and put the Nautilus in a better position, starting to become that unmovable front line. If 5-8's not there, not responding, and the Nautilus is mid, I mean, something's got to give with XL5 there because, like you said, Gragas, no response. He's still in the top lane, and he's not going to get anything for it. He's going to push away, but he can't push down a turret.
What I would have liked to have done is just sort of push it past that initial river point. Once you do that, you do have a decent way of pushing straight in towards the enemy base. That gives you map pressure to the point where someone has to deal with it at some point in time. You immediately just make your way down afterwards. Basically, at that point, after he pushed it up, if he'd done that, walked down, he saved his teleport. Guess what? His team probably wouldn't have been engaged upon because all of a sudden there's a beefy Gragas just stopping any sort of engage from coming through. If they do try to jump into it, he'll be body slam and then ulting them all away.
Yeah, you disengage everyone else, but the Nautilus is still there, and with 5 members, you can burst him down and just maybe take back the fight or just disengage it entirely. But with XL5's lineup here, we know that they have to sort of push this advantage. Well, if the advantage is still there, we're going to have a look at the gold when we jump back into game. But it was about 2,500. It was a really good start. Now, after that fight, of course, Tilton got a double kill, but there's a lot of assists getting shared around. And 3 dead. They can potentially look at mid. They can rotate around. I believe next Dragon is up and available as well, or it will be shortly. With Tainted Minds in this game, number 1, they're not going down without a fight. And, building towards that late game stage, like we said, is really, really vital for them right now.
Yeah, any chance of that coming through? We're actually having a bit of a replay coming through with this showing us this initial team fight and why it went wrong. So as you can see, Gragas is up there in the mid lane. Everything's going, and they just catch crazy. And here comes the strength of the composition they put together. They're having this dive pick composition. You got the pick with the Ahri, you got the pick with the Nautilus. Everything's so good with that there. Squeegee's having a great time with the research, jumping back and forth, doing all the things that you know what to do. And now they can do so much with that now.
Yeah.
They can push down mid lane, get the next turret. They can go for that Dragon, like you said. They can even set up control for the Baron, because suddenly gets to that point in the game where that's something you need to worry about. And if you just have general control around the map early, it means you can hold on to it and then start making more plays around objectives later on in the game.
Opening up the map would be really beneficial for them right now. And Tainted Minds, of course, coming through Outlaws, we saw plays like this happen where they just really played it clinical and clean. Almost to the state of Regicide, capitalizing on mistakes, but it kind of bounced back and forth, and then it happened to them in the second time around. XL5, a great example of that, has just happened on your screens. This tier 2 turret is going to be taken down. That means we are going to see XL5's gold gap narrow slightly. 600 gold is all it takes. Tainted Minds look fine. They've evened up the turrets. Next Dragon is available in 10 seconds.
Yeah, Guts there making the typical move that most junglers do when they realize they've lost priority in their lane. They kind of go, oh no, they've lost priority in the mid lane. Quickly get all the buffs before everything gets stolen away. And as you can see, Tainted Minds did make that move towards into that jungle there to see if they could get some control. They're backing away from this here now. So this is actually going to be a Dragon going through to X5, even though they managed to win the team fight.
Yeah, Infernal was picked up first. It's going to be a Cloud, so it's not too monumental, but you got a Rengar with a Karma. Let's put it this way. That's going to be a fast cat.
Fast Knife Cat.
Knife cat.
Knife Cat, yes. Yeah, and it's always good with Rengar. He's great in terms of execution, especially with this team that XL5 have. And they've relatively a really easy execution. What you do is you throw Rengar to go in now. Actually, I think we've got an engage coming now.
Crazy almost gets caught. Teleport straight away cancelled by 5-8. So the situation diffuses itself. But an X5 not going to take too many risks. Renan's Hurricane has been picked up by Crazy. See if he can go back and maybe get that pickaxe, amplify his damage a little bit, so that if another team fight erupts, you've got a Caitlyn who is shredding through the Nautilus. Shredding through, the Graves and the Ahri and the Tristanas alike, who are just destroying Christmas trees right now. 1-3-1. He's got a Morellonomicon. Looks like the Abyssal will be the second pickup, or might just sit on that Negatron Cloak and go for something with a little bit more amplification.
I'd say he would be finishing up on the Abyssal Scepter as soon as he can, and for a second there I had to think about that. So yeah, he will be...
You don't play mid?
I don't play mid, no. I've played it from time to time.
Akali
that is my pocket pick when I have to play mid. I do like picking up the Akali. But going back into this, I would say he will finish that particular cloak there. There is a bit of magic damage he needs to worry about. I found they got tilting.
Great body pop. Might find tilting to ult there. Guts just yells him to death. Ahri has to back off mid. That's a good pick. And that puts the gold back in front. But no, the turret does go down. And we're neck and neck once again.
All right, so they do have a lot of control there now around that Baron side. I don't think they can go for it because the wards are still available for Tainted Minds, and someone needs to deal with that Nautilus pushing down to that bot lane there. So Fightaway has made his way down. He's going to be the recipient of those extra waves coming through. He's going to be happy about that. And really, at the moment now, these guys are sort of at that impasse where they're sort of, TM just want to continue to sort of stall out the game. XL5 want to make some moves, but they're having difficulty because TM are doing a good job just keeping control around the map after that team fight they had.
With an Ahri that is 40 CS ahead and 2 levels ahead, I mean, I think they're doing a great job of stalling that out. The Ahri's getting bigger and bigger, almost onto that second item. You know, third, fourth, probably preferable, but well onto the way is Wizard. He's got both summoners available, ultimate as well. All it takes is one charm. Tainted Minds can get a pick, or they can just keep farming it up.
One charm, one dredge line, even one slow from tilting would be enough to actually, you know, start a chain reaction, which could lead to TM winning a team fight. And it really does go to the same side of XL5. You know, one good barrel, one good explosive cast, one really good stun from Christmas Trees again. These guys do have the ability to engage and create team fights on both sides. T-Gun though, face check.
Face check, not the greatest. Ultimate there gets a double knock-up. Steps on a trap. Predator going to be slowed down, but Wizards here has ultimate available. Runs away, hits the blast cone. Back in. Interesting move. Comes through, gets the charm. Like we said, one charm, and that's everything. Only with the collateral damage. 5 to 8 is taking all of it, but he will go down next as well. Squidgy picks up the kill. Tainted Minds have just pushed themselves ahead.
And now with that, they can definitely push in towards this as they're trying to keep those traps there to stop them, but not much they can really do. Just going to walk right on past. And TM, they can get the inhibitor off this, back away, and then start making some plays around that Baron. They've got control of it right now. Exceptional amount of there. I don't think they're really going to be too fearful of this ultimate by Guts.
Just sitting behind the inhibitor doing a lot of damage. Going to be sped up. Predator might be caught. Good wild growth. They're going to use Glitter Lance, Charm Lance onto Crazy. X5 might still be chasing this. T-Gun just being a nuisance right here. Gets the slow, great inner flame. But it's still going to be the getaway for Tainted Minds. They get the inhibitor, they back away. Not caught out, 1.3k gold lead.
So T-Gun will want to keep on sort of chasing them as far as they can, because the idea here is XI5 now just need to go, can just go straight for the Baron. I think that's the next move they need to go for. Like TM, yep, they've done a good job of breaking the base, but really they have to back, they have to buy XL5. Are they going to rush the Baron? No, they're going to try and get a play.
Oh no, Christmas Trees misses Scatter of the Week. Might have the ultimate available if he can get it, but Tilting flashes away. Tainted Minds lose their support out in mid lane, but Supers are running down. And he's going to be very hard to deal with. Yes, you have a Caitlyn who has a lot of wave cleared, but they're going to keep coming down. They'll get mid turret. They'll push that. It's a good objective for X5 to sort of regain their losses. But it's still a 1k gold lead by Tainted Minds.
So this game is still not done just yet. They've lost their opportunity to go for the Baron if they decided to make that play. Decided to go for the safer one instead. Guts is here. He wants to jump on to Wizard.
Trying to continue the snowball. A flash, a Spirit Rush lockdown with the Bowler Strike. The last tick of Spirit Rush gets him out alive. Guts uses his ult, however, an XL5 5-man unit top. They want to continue barreling down the game. They may have fallen behind, but they don't want it to go to late, where TM are just going to crush anyway.
So TM, now that they've managed to pick up the inhibitor, don't even really need to look for team fights. They can just sort of sit back, wait for that wave to push out as they need to.
He missed the spite.
That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate there. Decided to go the other way. But see, they still have control in that mid lane now. So someone has to go back and deal with it. As you can see, you've got someone backing now.
We fight away.
Really, yeah, it's a fight away. He's trying to cut the mini wave a little bit if possible. No, he's just running. He's just running after it. He's like, come back to me.
And Crazy went back as well, so it's all on the defense right now for XL5.
And TM just start piling into that Baron area. So they're going to step the vision first, wait a little bit, see if they can get a catch. If no one comes, they'll just take the Baron.
Really good objective for Tainted Minds because, I mean, it puts the pressure back onto XL5. Like you said, they're positioning around this Baron pit. Dragon is up, but no opportunity.
You know, it's really good that they managed to pick up that Scuttle Crab there.
Yep.
Because that basically says to them whether they're doing the Baron or not. So XL5 have a little bit of bought time as long as that's up.
That miss smite from Only could have cost them a bit more time. Like we said, you know, Tainted Minds might be potentially happy to wait things out. Baron would have been nice, yes. They're still sieging up in this top side. A lot of wave clear from XL5. I mean, you've got the Syndra, you've got the Caitlyn. If Praetor's not careful, I mean, there is still a lot of damage coming through from Crazy. He's got the Infinity Edge now. Good itemization means that this 2-item Caitlyn can be shredding through on multiple targets. Tainted Mind's looking for a pick.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Get control of the Baron, just wait for everything to go through now that the Scuttle Crab's gone. If anyone coming, no worries. Free Baron for us.
Scuttle Crab is down, so they don't know this is going on, but they've got to have a general idea, surely.
They've got the ward
Far side orb comes
so they're making the move now.
Thrill of the hunt. TM disengage. XL5 on the side. Great scatter the weak, but is there a follow-up? No. Oh, who's that on the back? It's Gragas.
Oh,
Explosive
big
gun
ulti.
is big. There's the barrel. There's the body bomb. Wizard is caught out. Flash from Christmas trees. Scatter the weak. And XL5, the execution we've been waiting for, all split, is there. 3 members. XL5, the Baron could be yours.
Yeah, so what they're going to do now is just see if they can rush this Baron down immediately back afterwards. But really, that was an amazing flank that they set up there. The patience on XL5 to not rush into that foolhardy really did pay off. Then here we go though, will it be stolen away? Only is still
Wizard
up.
doing a lot of damage, Only in the back of the pit.
He got
stole it! Only stole the Baron! He will go down, but it slows XL5 down, which could work for Tainted Minds.
Oh my, XL5 did so much work there, but they were unable to get the Baron off the back of it. The Smite was still available there for Guts, and oh, here we go. So here's a replay here. So what they've done is they've managed to put the ward, which forced the stop. All of a sudden, they've backed away. Baron's still aggroed, and look at that cask. My God, 5-8, you really did a good job with that one there. And really, afterwards, you know, once everyone was split away, all of a sudden, you're not a 5-man unit. There was just easier target priority available for XL5. They just rush in and absolutely steamroll them.
Struggled to give enough credit to 5-8 yesterday, but today he definitely deserves it. A player in the OPL who's sort of been said that, yes, he's not the strongest top laner, but he is a rapid rate of improvement, something I love to see. Tainted Minds will pick up that Mountain Drake. That is 10%. Okay, that's big. However, the gold is neck and neck once again at this 26-minute mark. Running into that mid to late game stage, we see that Tainted Minds are picking up their 2nd and 3rd items here. This could be detrimental because we know that XL5 need to sort of push an advantage of some sort. Late game, yes, the Caitlyn will come online, but Mendrix, as you said, you know, you've got so many factors that you have to worry about in Tainted Minds' roster.
XL5 are looking to make another pick happen if possible. Let's just see what happens here. Oh, Only!
They're going to get caught out. Charm's going to miss. Uses Wild Growth. Tainted Minds are now well aware. Praetor flashes in. Is he too deep? I don't think so. Guts has to use Thrill of the Hunt. He's going to get jumped on by the Tristana. Quick Redemption, going to heal him back up after the charge. Inhibitor is open and there for the taking.
Yeah, look at the inside track. They should be able to get this and get out.
Baron buff, explosive cast there again. Separate. Squidgy has the flash. Is it good enough, however? They go away from the inhibitor. They go into Christmas trees. He's going to get taken down. A double man stun from the Nautilus. And Squidgy gets a kill. He's getting the resets. He's going nuts. And Tainted Minds have just got mid inhibitor. They've got Baron buff on that one person. And it is going to be the Ari. They're looking for the Nexus turret. They're going in again. XL5 Guts goes down, and this has just gone from bad to worse as Tainted Minds are crushing through. T-Gun's the only one left, and suddenly Tainted Minds just come into mid and they take the game.
Wow, that's all comes off the steal from Only there just to give them that extra. Even though XL5 tried to make something happen in terms of going for that sort of cheeky moment when Only came in, he did a great job to immediately back out of the way.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they had all the control they needed in that lane priority. XL5 had to sort of wrap around. Wasn't something they could really do, a team fight they couldn't take. 5-8 did the best he could with that explosive cast, but still they were able to rally, get themselves back together, and then win the team fight by focusing on Crazy.
You just see how Nautilus gets out of control, especially because Praetor at the end of that fight got a 2-3-man depth charge. His ultimate separated, stunned, slowed, you name it, he was there, and he pretty much started everything in that final push. That Baron buff going onto Wizard still, you know, just that steal.
Yeah, it did. That still did so much there for Tainted Minds. It would have made a massive difference to X5 because all of a sudden their inhibitors back up. If they were able to have the Baron themselves, they could have just pushed straight down mid. They've got a great sieging team, and with Baron, that would have been a big strength. So it made all the difference, that Baron steal.
Only getting that steal, like you said, was the difference there. And you've got to give props to this jungler who has stepped up time and time again. Going for the 50-50 Baron play, sure, XL5 may have wanted to slow it down or go over the wall. You know, they could have taken out Wizard, they could have taken out Only, who died anyway. But at the end of the day, XL5 losing that Baron was monumental, and it did cost them the game. As we jump into game 2, what needs to change? Is the drafting phase fine for XL5? Is it just all about the execution there?
The drafting phase was fine, and that definitely, like I said, they have those moments of brilliance where it just seems to, with the flank play, with the explosive cast, that was amazing, and everything seemed to go well from that point on. And then the 50-50 smite, something that it's hard to deal with. These guys are really good at smiting. Sometimes you just cannot get it, especially with Graves. He typically does tend to have a higher level, which means his smite does do more, making it easier for him to make it.
Yeah.
I would say the drafting phase is fine. I think the big thing is, like you said, does come down to that execution. If you're going to go for a 4-1, just be careful. Don't get hit by the dredge line, because that's really what started Tainted Minds on that good roll.
Well, Tainted Minds will pick up game number 1 of this best-of-3 series. Let's see if XL5 can bring it back in game number 2. Don't go anywhere. 5-minute break, and then we resume. And who will be joining the OPL for split number 2? That is a question we ask here today. OPL Promotion Tournament, the last series awaits. Tainted Minds have just picked up a win, and XL5 now is their turn to fight back. Mendrix, as we come into game number 2, do you think they have what it takes? As a personal preference, I feel like XL5 here played a really good early game. They just probably need to step it up.
Both of these teams played well in what they did there, and both of them had the ability to win that game. At no point in time was both those teams out. Even after that Baron went through to Tainted Minds, XL5 could have still played a way around it, just waited out. They decided to take a bit more of a risky move to sort of get themselves back into the game, and they ended up falling flat, and that's why they lost. So I really do want both of these teams to sort of like take it up that next step and just really not make those small mistakes. That's the big thing that's been happening here, because it seems to be everyone's just capitalizing off mistakes. I want more plays being made. Like that first play by XL5, that was a made play. It wasn't really a mistake coming through from Tainted Minds.
It did feel like the 50-50 Baron dictated the rest of the game, however. From only.
Is big.
I mean, like, that was a really big steal. And he's done that before. He's done it in the OCS before. Back in the other splits. We now jump into game 2. And as we move into pick and bans, it's going to be the Thresh taken away from T-Gun. I guess after seeing that the other day, they're like, it was first Blitzcrank. Now it's Thresh. Like, what more are we going to have to ban? He's going to start playing Maokai supports.
I have to like think about what else has a hook in this game that we could really take advantage of. That's what we have to start looking at. Maybe a Talia support will probably be the next move for T-Gun.
Yeah.
So just like hook you back into the team from there. Who knows what will come through. But really just respect bans for both these teams again. Lee Sin for only. Thresh for T-Gun. And up to T-Gun, well, I think they were probably discussing if they were going to go for that Blitzcrank ban there as well. But in the end, they do decide against it because, you know, it is a wild card. T-Gun can absolutely pop off on that champion.
But remember, Guts did really well on the Rengar as well, and it's one of his niche picks. Well, not so niche for the current meta anyway, but the Blitzcrank, the Thresh. I mean, last time, I believe the Fiora was second ban phase, and we finished on something like, what was it? Syndra was, come on, Hysteric's memory. 10 out of 10, apparently.
What do you mean? Well, the last ban was Cassio that they went through.
They did,
last game.
They targeted
and that's
Christmas
why
trees.
Syndra ended up coming through into that game.
And
it's the same ban. Then if we get a Shen ban from XL5, that's the first same bans from last game. So I expect them to go for a Shen ban unless they plan to put 5-8 on it. But if they leave Shen up, I mean, I imagine TM will prioritize Praetor and immediately give him that first pick.
But it is going to be TM with first pick this time around. So Shen taken away, but first pick priority. I mean, in the past, TM have done Graves. They've gone past the Lulu. What do you look at here if you're only?
Get Lulu. I would get Lulu. You just really, we've seen what happens whenever you do media hands. They put priority onto the Graves instead.
Aren't you meant to be right? Aren't you the color caster here? Come on, Magix.
It just means that they expect only to carry again. Only to do more than tilting to do with Lulu. So I expect XL5 here to get Lulu this time around. If not, the Karma again, because we saw that actually was quite strong in the top. In the bot lane. Having the Karma and the Caitlyn when they do have that lane priority gives them the opportunity to make those plays. So there we go. There's the Lulu. So you just want to make sure you can pick up that champion when it is available because she is quite strong at the moment.
To speak very plainly of Lulu, T-Gun will pick that champion up. And as we've seen in the past, it looks to be, you know, the Rengar's available. What else do you have? Do you look at Christmas trees?
I wouldn't mind if they prioritize getting the Rengar in this situation because if you do have a Lulu, getting the Rengar does synergize well. Nautilus also synergizes as well because he basically all of a sudden you've got a great dive composition you can put into place. Nautilus will be fearless when he jumps in when he knows he's got a Lulu in the back pocket giving him an ultimate.
Yeah, 5-8 has changed from going into Camille's, going into potentially carry top laners. I didn't like him on the Poppy too much, but he goes to the Nautilus, he goes to the more Gragas styles. This looks a lot better. Last game, he was really influential up in that top lane. So we're going to put him on another tank, and XL5 run with the Nautilus. Looks like Tainted Minds this time around will be taking the Caitlyn away from Crazy.
That's probably very intelligent as well because they can obviously hold their own if they do have a Lulu and Caitlyn in lane. All of a sudden, they've taken away a lot of priority. So unless Crazy's been playing Ashe and I haven't been knowing about it, there's not really much chance for them to have priority in that lane. I expect him to go for an Ezreal afterwards. And what I love about the Echo pick as well is this is a flex for both Praetor and Wizard. So this could be a 1-3-1 composition they want to go for if they decide to give it to Wizard, or they could give it to only instead. Absolutely, they can give it to Praetor instead and actually just run a normal, you know, Orianna or normal 1-4 composition if they wanted to.
Guts does pick up the Rengar, however, to finish off the first phase. So we jump into the second ban phase again and again and again. Take away Praetor's Fiora. Do not let him have that champion.
That's right.
But like you said, the flex on Echo. And I like that from Tainted Minds because, you know, Wizard has played the champion, Praetus has played the champion, both to great succession, and it's normally banned away if you're versing Tainted Minds.
So I'm looking at this now. If I was TM, I need to get rid of Orianna. Either I take it or I ban it, because the thing is that with XR5, there's the Ashe ban, so maybe Crazy has been playing a little bit on that side there. With X5, really having an Orianna completely rounds out that composition right there. You can pretty much put in any ADC and you pretty much have a solid unit with an Orianna. Because really, you have the shields for either the cat, we've got 2 ball delivery systems, which will be the cat or the giant Titan of the depth.
You could just call them Rengar and Nautilus, but...
I could, but I decided to give them, you know, the animal names, whatever they want to go for. I want to be a bit more playful when I do. But basically, you've got 2 ball delivery systems. On top of that, you've got someone who's going to get a massive ultimate off the back of it as well with the Lulu. And really, that's all you need for a solid team composition. That gives all the protection the ADC really needs, because it's such a disruptive composition to deal with. So any AD slots in, Ezreal slots in quite well. But I'm surprised they didn't go for the Orianna.
Do they lose pick priority now that they don't have the Orianna? Maybe Christmas Tree's not comfortable with that champion?
I would stop it. I mean, maybe he's not. To be honest, I feel Orianna's a staple. Like the Syndra, if you want to play mid lane, you should know how to play both those champions. And really, like I said, having the Orianna would round it off. TM's going to take it away.
Well, TM in this pick ban phase kind of just did a doozy on Exile 5, but as the last pick, they've now got to look at a mid laner for Christmas Trees. Doesn't have the Cassiopeia available, but has shown his prowess on Victor.
Yeah, Victor will probably be the next sort of back pick that you can go for. The Cassiopeia is gone. You don't have that much damage, so you need to have something that has that big wave clear, that big strong, and Victor fills that slot perfectly.
Well, now the team composition for Exile 5 rounded off, but there is a lot of protection there. I mean, the Victor in team fights, you know, Ezreal to kite around as well. We've seen Crazy. He has the ability to carry. He's going to pick the same skin on Ezreal that he's picked all the time. The Chroma, Debonair, you know, fancy black robe, I'm a butler sort of skin. If we look at the team composition for Exile 5, what do you think, Mensch? Does it feel like the later they go, just the more out of control they get?
Exile 5 have a really great late game scaling team, and so does TM to a degree. Echo is going to be a bit of a bully when it does come to that late game against 5-8. 5-8 has the early game pressure against him, so he should be able to win out in that lane early. But then it seems to be a role reversal in the bot lane. All of a sudden, with the Caitlyn Karma, that is going to be bullying out the Ezreal and the Lulu as well. So they're going to have a bit of a rough time in that early lane. That opens up more plays for Only to go towards that side. And you might see, you know, a bit of a deja vu, but it happening against the other teams the other way. The big thing is, what I'm looking at here with Tainted Minds is that, again, they don't exactly have a specific... It seems to be complete role reversal with their team compositions. XL5 had just really decent, strong lanes, no real clear synergy that made sense to a degree.
Crisscross.
Yeah, exactly. There wasn't really anything you could go like, oh, this is a great play because they can do this with these 2 champions or these 3 champions working in unison. It's just sort of like, well, you know what? We should deny the Orianna. Let's take that away. It's a strong champion, slots into any composition. Graves, great first pick as well for jungle, does the exact same thing that he wants to do. Echo, we wanted to flex that, basically keep XL5 guessing as to what our composition is going to end up being there. And then we just got a strong priority bot lane. You know, we've got good siege off the back of that. Orianna also provides good siege. So really just got a solid team composition. Whereas with on the side of XL5, they have a form of composition where if they pull off that combination, you can see really good dividends coming from that.
Now you've talked about lane priority, and XL5 in the last game had so much of it. Now in this top lane with 5-8 on the Nautilus, going up against Praetus Echo, you said that Nautilus doesn't really differ in his lanes. He only loses to a couple. Like, was it the Fiora you said he struggles against?
Well, no, he still wins early against the Fiora. Because the big thing is Fiora doesn't have wave clear. And the thing is that although she wants to jump in and start, you know, hitting out the vitals away immediately onto the Titan because he's a pretty big unit, so it makes sense for him. It's pretty easy for her to get the vitals. You're still going to be running into a ton of minions, which you don't want to do. And that's what's basically he's going to have. He's going to riptide the minions last hit, and if you do, you end up taking more damage against the minions rather than trying to hurt him with vitals. So it's the same sort of situation with that there. Echo's got pretty good wave clear as well. He'll just basically throw out his Time Winder constantly the entire time. So both these guys will just be sort of neutralizing each other out. The big difference is that Praetus is a lot more hard. Like, it's very difficult to execute with the Echo. In terms of what you can do, yeah, it's easy in lane, yes, but when it comes to team fights, way more difficult to do it. Because when you do try to land that parallel convergence, there's not much you can really do. You have to sort of like hope the whole team walks into it to a degree, or do a really good job setting it up when you do decide to jump in with your phase dive.
So is there any kill threat at all from that Echo if you're not?
Oh yeah, he's got kill threat, but it's going to be later into the game.
Okay.
So he really needs to get specific items. Once he's got the Proto Belt and the Lich Bane, that's when he starts to pop up a little bit in pressure there. But the moment you bring a jungler into the mix, chances are Echo's probably going to lose out.
Praetus has played the Echo before, and he's looked damn impressive on it. Tatum Mine's already picking up a win in the first game. We now look to the second one. We look if XL5 can continue doing what they did in the early game. But Tatum Mine's just finding, one crucial mistake or just going, right, we're all mid. Let's go in with the Nautilus. This time, 5-8 has the Nautilus. I want to see him do the same thing that Praetus did because Praetus is just so good at positioning. He's so good at exploiting his advantage. And 5-8 last game, he did that as well. His Gragas was magnificent. It created a win condition for X5. And I'm hoping this time again that the Nautilus does the same thing and 5-8 finally gets his time in the sun and he takes it to a game 3.
Oh, he was shining definitely in that game as well. I mean, that explosive cask at the very end there really it helped them win the Baron team fight. They didn't win the Baron, but basically that was a solidified win. And it was purely off that explosive cast that he landed because that knocked everyone away. They were just scattered from that point in time. There was no way for them to re-rally into that team fight. And XL5 cleaned up afterwards. It's just unfortunate they weren't able to pick up the Baron afterwards.
Is the setup similar with XL5's team composition? Because as we jump into game number 2 to see who goes through to the OPL for split 2, or potentially if we see a game 3, you know the difference. Is the setup similar with Guts? Because he's on the Rengar again, Christmas trees, on the Victor this time around. They're not going to be forcing anything early, are they?
If they're going to force something early, it will be in the top side of the map. Because really with the two, like Orianna and Victor, that's just going to be a wash of a lane. Both of them are just going to wave clear between them. There's going to be a ball and a laser going back and forth. And it's going to be saying, so yeah, like Wizards going to be like, you having a good time, Christmas trees? And he's like, yeah, no worries, mate, it's great. As the waves just fall down the entire time. So it's going to be like a back and forth sort of a tennis match between a laser and a ball. And if you look at it in terms of the top lane, 5-8 should be able to push that out earlier. So what I would, if Guts is going to make any moves, it'll be onto Praetor because he'll be able to either jump in towards the jungle and find only, and then use reinforcements from 5-8 and Christmas trees because they won't have that available, or he's going to go for a dive onto Praetor. One of the two.
You notice how T-Gun always seems to take damage early? He always
he's
goes
aggressive
in,
support.
he pokes his head in.
He's an aggressive guy. He likes to get in there. He likes to get the vision.
Yeah, he does have gun in his name.
Yeah, exactly. He likes to make sure he's got the vision and control and everything there. This is a bit of, I think that might be going for a bit of a cheese play here. XL5 love that little bit of the little cheeky cheeses they like to do on the side here. So if they sit in what they can do is they can basically just sit in that brush there. If Squidgy and Tilting walk this way, which is what they're doing, they're going to get the jump and then auto-attack them. But here we go.
They're walking blind into the Lulu. Squidgy going to take half his health. Okay, T-Gun's a little bit low. They have to walk away. Maybe biting off a bit more than they bargained for. Crazy, very low. Squidgy has heal and flash available.
That did not work out for them whatsoever. That did not work out in any form of the matter. So the idea is that you do that, you do a nice quick chunk on them before they even get into lane, which forces them to not be able to push up because they're wasting abilities and spells not on the waves, but rather on the enemies. And the idea is you should win out because you've got the drop. But that did not go any form of the way that it should have. And yeah, it's Tilting and Squidgy have full control of this lane once again.
All right, we talked about kill pressure, but that's a bit more than 5-8 bargain for. XL5 having a bit of a rocky start down in that bottom lane, but we'll catch up with them soon and see if there's any sort of change. If it affects their laning phase at all, I'm sure it will. There could be many potions available for Crazy.
Praetor's playing this really well.
Going aggressive. Like we said,
he's got no mana though.
Back when
he's got to use it all up now.
Back when Praetor was part of Chiefs Black in the OCS, he played a lot of Echo Top, and that was when the tank meta came through. He was one of the first people to bring back AP Echo Top as well.
That was after the nerfs. So here comes the only going straight for it now.
Really early gank, 5-8, already having to flash, end of the line, the damage, one more proc, the flash is there, a double flash, but Praetor, does he go down? A trade for 5-8.
So this is actually okay still, even though they managed to get the trade back. That's an assist. First blood gold, plus this wave is going to be crashing into that turret, which means 5-8 is going to be denied a little bit more. In terms of that there as well, it should be an advantage to the Praetor now, because with 2 D rings, he should be able to just time away under the wave. That way 5-8 doesn't have the same control that he used to have. So really intelligent for him to just expend as much mana as possible to get that advantage. And only coming up there with the quick clear really gives him a good sort of lead starting into that top lane.
5-8 having to use the teleport to get back to lane while Praetor just walks comfortably. Crazy's still going to be taking all of this damage.
That's a lot of
Tilting
minions walking into,
goes
guys.
a little bit too far forward. Is he going to get capitalized on? Not just yet. Tilting very low. Glitter lands. Is it available? The Inspired, sorry, but Tilting uses his pot. He's very low. XL5 gets some kind of response in this bottom lane, which is good to see after that Death Brush that was created.
It's going to have to chug the rest of his potion stuff.
No,
Oh,
again.
5 to 8's been bullied.
Doesn't have Flash. Time Wander not going to reach either. 5 to 8 is starting to get tanky. This time, Tainted Mind's got to be careful in the bottom lane. Crazy takes a headshot.
Crazy.
1, 2, 3. No, the heal expended. Bottom lane is very messy
Explosive.
at the moment. Oh, no, the whole game's messy. Wizard in the mid lane has to flash. Does Christmas Trees follow or does he not? Uses the Death Ray.
Landed.
Nice bowler strike and kaboom! Christmas Trees, his first kill of the game.
Yeah, when I saw that Guts had those 4 points in his combo, I was like, what? All he needs to do is 1 Q. He can immediately use his bowler strike, and if it lands, Wizard is dead, and that's great for them to actually have some control somewhere else around the map. I mean, in terms of 5 to 8, even if he does get bullied out in this lane, we've seen it happen before. Nautiluses who lose lane, but I still have managed to farm enough and win the game because they've got the Dredge line, they've got the Depth Charge, they've got the CC. Something that Praetor, he needs to sort of land unreliably. It's kind of hard for you to get that parallel convergence. We're talking about this in Champion Select. It's pretty much point and click for Nautilus. He can't. Very reliable when it comes to his ultimate in terms of its engage.
Skill matchup for the Echo, but maybe not for the Nautilus right now. He's getting his way back into this lane. He went back and got that double Dorans, like we said. Double Dorans for Praetor as well, so there's not going to be too much harshness coming between these two in the top lane. Guts now visiting bot. Crazy's very low. Tainted Minds. Squidgy might be caught out here. The Ignite's onto Guts. He's got so much more damage than he wanted here. The Ignite, the Flash. Great E from the Lulu. Can they get anything because of it? No. XL5, they'll just take the damage. They'll force the bottom lane out.
Oh, poor 5 to 8. They're going at him
Good
once
response
again.
in the top lane because of the gank down bottom. They know Rengar cannot save you now. Praetor, his first kill. Nautilus, poor Nautilus.
And it just makes sense for them to make this move. You know what? Yep, Rango's down there. There's no response coming through here. We know we've expended the flash. Let's go up there. Let's keep on keeping this Nautilus down. And the big thing is you're accelerating Praetor. Look at that damage.
Whopping Mendrix.
Christmas trees. He's not messing around. He is not messing around. So go back to this top lane here. It's really great that Praetor is getting off to this early start because if 5 to 8 isn't able to keep up in tankiness and he isn't really able to buy the items he needs to stay alive, plus this tower's going down as well. That's first blood.
Guts is here to try to clear the way, but first turret blood over to Tainted Minds. 2k gold lead after those 2 kills as well. Remember that they got that first blood up in the top lane. May have been traded back, but first blood so much more influential on your team. 6 minutes into the game. A gold lead like this needs to be shut down. XL5, we talked about their win condition. We talked about how they want to make it to that later stage of the game. And they want to look at the Nautilus being that huge front line. And the Victor just putting out so much damage. With the Ezreal behind it, you're looking good. Can XL5 make it that far? And in Minds want to say no right now.
Yeah, both teams have good scaling compositions. When it comes down to it, though, Tainted Minds do not have a tank. That's their big sort of downfall that they have in this game. So if it does go later on into it, that's going to be a bit of a struggle that they have because when you have a Nautilus who's managed to get himself to 6 items, he is so hard to take down and gives you a lot more options to push into lanes, helps you out with the sieges in terms of what happens with that there. So Tainted Minds really need to get off to a good start and keep control of the game in order to win this. Otherwise, XL5 will just win through composition.
Looks like it's going to get messy fast. Polymorph is used on Tilting. Glitterlance to slow. There's no follow-up from X5, however. And after Guts has been spotted out, he might just take the Dragon, look at that as a win. Will be a Cloud Drake and 15 speed movement, if my English could correct me. Only, he has been invaded a couple of times around, but he's sort of caught himself back up. Gonna get his Raptors, gonna get level 7, so looking like a level over Guts right now.
Yeah, that's really great for him because he's been doing a bit more as well around the map in comparison to in comparison to Guts at the moment. So for him to be making moves in that top lane specifically to get the kills there, get Praetor for head, and then also be ahead on CS, doing really well at the moment.
Bottom lane has been diffused, but as I say that, Guts, Knife Cat. Get ready. Okay, he jumps. He goes in. Bowl Strike misses. Gonna get the stun up. Squidgy might die here. One more hit. Guts gets it. True Shot Barrage is overused. But this time Praetor's here. The Echo looking for blood. You can't rewrite history, but you can make it. Exile 5, 4 members strong. Great rotation from 5 to 8. He's not needed just yet, but Praetor is going to take an ultimate. Good chrono break. Goes onto T-Gun. Can he get a kill as a response? Not this time, Buster. Bring it back
damage
in. 5 to 8. 3 kills. Exile 5. That was huge.
Whoa, really well done then. This is what we're talking about, there being reliable engage versus unreliable engage. Because even though he was there first, Praetor was first to the punch with that ultimate. I mean, Praetor goes in, forces the flash there, very well done. And again, it comes down to the fact that he had that engaged T-gun. Okay, good man.
All right.
We're all good. Everything's fine there. Everything's okay there. So really, Exile 5 to actually be winning in this bot lane is a big deal because typically TM do have that lane priority, or should have that lane priority in terms of that wins. For them to pick up kills across the board there and start evening out this game that Tainted Minds seem to be in control of is a fantastic win there. You're getting kills on pretty much everyone. Everyone got assists from that, so that's a lot of gold coming through. Now, I think you mentioned here, I'm pretty sure that he jumps on immediately. I think he does land. No, he doesn't. So he's just slowed down, has no flash, ends up getting taken out here. So here's a teleport I was talking about. Praetor uses a parallel convergence, but everyone's like, we're just going to walk out of this. What are you going to do about that? And really great turn here by Exile 5 to say, you know what, we can just jump back into tilting. And there you go, pointing, click, engage. Isn't it effective? The Chrono Break does do a good job there to do a lot of damage, but once you've got 4 members against 1, you're pretty much a sitting duck.
Of course, those kills spreading around the map, and Exile 5 have just brought back this gold lead that was so easily developed by Tainted Minds. Still got 1 turret on Tainted Minds. Exile 5 get an objective on the map, and it looks to be worthwhile. I think we can look at the Nautilus at top as being very dangerous right now. Has the Bammy Cinder, Ninja Tabby, 2 kills. Praetor's maybe scary a time man, but time on Nautilus. I don't even think he's human. Does time affect Nautilus? No.
I'm not too sure. Like, I mean, with the law, I'm pretty sure he was human at one point, but something happened when he got lost at sea.
Pretty sure he's at the bottom of the sea.
He's at the bottom of the sea. The idea is
with a lot of league names on it.
For what I remember, under his law, he was dropped at the bottom of the sea and left there, and all of a sudden he became a Titan. So, yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm going to stop now, and I'm going to reread the law later. That's what I'm going to do.
You're right there, Mendrix.
Yeah, everything. I'm absolutely fine. I'm absolutely fine at the moment. I'm normally really good with law. Actually, I used to enjoy just sitting down and reading some of the champions while I was waiting in queue.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I used to just sit back and wait and just read up on some champion law. It was good fun.
You're going to be an old M one day.
One day.
And what are you reading through, Mendrix? Just League of Legends champion law.
They're good stories. I reckon they'd be great for the kids.
Back in my day, there was this guy named Nautilus. He had the Titan's Wrath.
The Titan's Wrath. He also had a depth charge and a dredge line.
Who are we? What are we doing here? How lost have we gotten in? No.
Nothing's happening at the moment, so I mean it's kind of fair. These guys are just farming up at the moment. They're getting the wards set up. I think the next area of contention is probably going to be around that dragon. You can see all the wards starting to be flooding around for both these teams, so they've probably marked their eyes on that air drake.
But Tainted Minds rotate mid. There's 3 members here. X5.
They got control, yeah.
They're going to rotate to this. I mean, it is a small minion
I
wave.
think a bit of a flank might be coming through from this.
X5 might be setting up.
Oh, that ball's there.
Good ball control. You know, just like a game of soccer.
Just like a game of soccer, except Orianna doesn't even need to use her feet. Oh, Praetor
caught out.
Can he get the come through? I mean, he can't land it. It's so hard.
But I mean, with the Echo, of course, there is a lot of setup required, and in the messiness of a team fight, they might forget he exists.
Exactly, and we've seen it happen before with Praetor. He's been able to land them, been able to land those four-man parallel convergences. They're just absolutely is huge in team fights when they do land. It's just getting it to happen, you know, it's probably about 3 times out of 10. Christmas trees.
Fancy goes in. Gravity Field, Chaos Storm, Squidgy taking a lot of damage. Ignited here, trying to turn 1v2. There's Thrill of the Hunt, burst it down. Guts is here, and Destroyed is tilting. It's a 2-kill for Exile 5, and they might get the turret.
Yes, but they are going to be losing the mid lane turret in response to this. I think Christmas trees basically were sitting there going, you know what, I definitely can't do anything here. Let's make a move in the bot lane. So to get the 2 kills, get the turret in return, it definitely is a favorable trade for Exile 5, but that is a mid turret that they lost there. So all of a sudden, Tainted Minds have a lot more options towards that dragon and towards that Baron, probably in the near future.
Everyone backs off and just leaves the localized gold to Crazy, who will go back and I'm sure finish up that Blade of the Ruined King. Tier's already built, so that's stacking. Not going to be going for that Manamune early. Instead, picks up the boots and doesn't have the gold for Blade of the Ruined King, so gets the recurve bow. was probably about 200, 300 gold shy. Still good itemization, 102 on this Ezreal, but he is behind in CS, so that is a concerning factor because Caitlyn is like a monster.
You typically expect
Right
that,
now.
especially with a Caitlyn. Like Caitlyn into Ezreal, typically with those two ADCs, Caitlyn wins that matchup in the early game because she has that extra range, kind of a bit oppressive to deal with, and especially when you're to Karma at your back as well. Lulu's great, but at the end of the day, she's not going to be pushing that wave the same way. When you're farming under turret, it's always hard.
XL5 do find themselves in a gold lead now, however. It is developing 14 minutes into the game. We've got a team composition that is starting to come alive. Waiting for that first item from 528. As soon as he picks that one up, sure it'll be as menacing as always.
I'd say he's going to finish off his Spirit of Such. You got the Bambi Cinder first, got the Ninja Tabby, because Ninja Tabby's just a great... Yeah, just to have that wave clear so he can really, make some moves around the map, put some pressure in there. At the moment, this team seems to just be trading objectives, but TM definitely has the inside track here. 528 is just sitting back there like, guys, you need to do something quickly. They're coming up fast.
One turret down. Can XL5 defend this bottom lane? I don't think with 5
I don't think he can. He needs to just back off.
But they're not helping Crazy get the turret either.
He's going to lose his life. They're backing up to support him, but they really need to make something happen here, otherwise 528's dead.
Yeah, he's not tanky enough either. Collateral damage with Praetor comes in. Could be a tier 2 turret. Christmas Tree's off on the side. Uses a death ray, lets them know they're there. Wizard going to zone with his ball, and another wave's coming in. Crazy only just gets that turret. They're slow on the rotate.
Has he got his Crazy got his ultimate? No, he doesn't. So yeah, this turret's going to be basically forfeit. I don't know if they can even go in.
Praetor is there. Christmas Trees has to run away. The ball's on him as well. Shockwave available, but not used. Thrill of the Hunt is still active. Guts doesn't go in, even after a Whimsy. Inspire from Tater Mines are disengaging.
This is a good flank. This is a really good flank.
Teleports there, 5-8. Who's he going to go for? He locks down Praetor first. Sends an E. There's Chrono Break. It's on 2 members. Big ult from Praetor. As Tater Mines look to re-engage, a Shockwave flashed away from by Guts. 5-8 still here. He flashes onto Tilting. Blade of the Ruin King is going to help try and get Tilting. But this time 5-8 and Crazy is still challenging Praetor. Ooh, if that Mystic shot hit, now Squidgy's in a bit of trouble and he's running for his life. What does he do? Nope, can't avoid the dredge line, can't avoid the lockdown. Crazy will get the kill on Squidgy. They do pick up one, but it's at the cost of 2 turrets down bottom.
And really when you look at that there, TM were lucky to get out with what happened there. Everyone managed to get away. They're only losing Squidgy. It's fine. They're going to lose the Air Drake, who isn't really the biggest priority at this point in the game. It's always good to have that extra movement speed, but there was a lot exhausted there by X5 to make that work. You got the teleport down, the flash is now down for 5-8 as well. So he's not really going to be making any plays for the next 5 minutes or so while they just sort of put some extra pressure out there. But really, they could have made so much more happen with that if 5-8 was just a little bit more patient. All he had to do was just back away, let the turret go down. You would have been alive immediately. You probably could have gotten a pick with your dredge line, and XL5 could have got more off that.
I mean, it just feels like XL5 are getting out-rotated and not being unanimous on these decisions.
It was the mismanagement of resources that they went for. Because, I mean, I understand the decision they made. Let's put Crazy there. He was going to just finish off the turret. We'll bring everyone back in time. 5-8, hold the line. Just hold that line there for a little bit. We'll be there back in time to get the turret. They were not back in time to get the turret. And TM are the ones sort of getting the extra control around the map now. I mean, they may be five kills behind, but they're up in gold at the moment.
And now after getting that Rift Herald, you're going to give it to an Echo who is building AP. Once that Lichbane comes online, I do fear for the health of XL5. I do fear for their safety as well, I think.
I fear specifically for Christmas Trees,
and Crazy.
T-Gun, and Crazy, yeah. And even Guts. Even Guts needs to watch out for that, man.
The burst Thunderlord's being run on that Echo in the top lane, I do believe. We have to look at more elements of Tater Mind's team composition here because it feels like multiple members are sort of slowly coming online. We are talking about the Echo, but we need to look at the Graves and see how he's impacting the map. Because Tater Minds right now are just running around Graves, protecting him. Yeah, all right, this is quick clear.
So the big thing with Graves is that, mind you, okay, Guts is keeping up with clear, which is a big deal, but with Only's Graves at the moment, he spent most of the map getting Praetor for head.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that he did. Now that Praetor's online, he's going, sweet, I can just focus now on the rest of the team. And they've just basically been holding hands together as they should at this point in time and sort of letting Praetor do his own thing on the side there. He's pretty much self-sufficient at this point now. But the big thing is that when it does, they really need to either up the ante on this here, because XL5 is more than happy to farm this out.
Well, actually, they want to fight here. Guts goes in, uses the wild growth very early. XL5 get very low, but Tilting is in front. He goes down first. A killing spree for Crazy. That'll be all she wrote, and XL5 will take the 1 kill.
And this is what happens when you try to get control in the jungle when you don't really have controls in the lanes just yet. No one was in the mid lane. You could clearly see where Wizard was on the map, pushing that up beforehand, and they're sweet, no worries. We've got the jump, let's go for this fight. Now, same thing's happening here. T-Gun's in trouble.
Ace in the hole, it's not going to kill T-Gun. Collateral damage wasn't available. There was a flash use from Only as well. Okay, we're resuming, because this time Praetus has found himself in the middle of everything.
The chrono break.
See you later, says Guts. He's now on a killing spree. XL5, just when you thought they were falling behind again, they've brought themselves in.
Just really just control, because the thing is that they've still got control on their side of the map, in their jungle, and TM's thinking, cool, we've got the things here, more is happening around the map.
Shockwave Flash, Wizard, only takes half of his health. Christmas Tree's going for these 1v1s.
Okay, so we were mentioning about when they try to move into the enemy jungle to get control, to get the wards, you find that TM has been dying. The moment Christmas Trees decides to go into TM's jungle, get control, get some wards, he dies. So typically these guys are just not doing their due diligence properly. They're falling down to sort of silly mistakes that if you're going to go in and get those wards, hold more hands together. If you have 3 people, chances are Wizard's not going to try to take that 1v1. And in the end, he gets the kill. That's something you don't want happening. Mid laners are basically 1v1ing each other with no real response. Sure, the flash was blown by Wizard. Maybe he didn't need to do it there, but still, a control mage ahead of another one is not something you want to be dealing with.
Do XL5 need to continue forcing? Do they need to continue?
I don't even say they continue forcing. TM were the ones doing the forcing there, and XL5 picked up a bunch of kills off the back of it. So, I mean, the big thing is that, like I said, they're more than happy to sit back and farm up. TM does have late-game insurance. Like, Praetus is someone you have to always watch out. Wizard is someone you always have to watch out for. Even Squidgy as well. Again, great, it's a double 80 composition. So they've got great scaling. But the thing is that XL5 have the better composition. They're more well-rounded purely because they have a tank. They've got great wave clear. They've got an assassin. They've got a self-sufficient ADC. And if anyone gets in trouble, their support is really strong at the moment.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it is TM forcing here, but XL5 looking for the engage. Guts is sped up. Does he go in? Good depth charge. How many people will knock up? Just the one. Guts destroys. He's chasing a double kill. XL5 again. Get him. Chase him up. Kill him.
And really, it does come down to the fact that Nautilus is just so good at engaging teams. I mean, if we look at it in terms of this week, I think every team that's picked up Nautilus has pretty much won the game.
Oh, Shockwave used. Parallel Convergence. Great ultimate from T-Gun.
They can still chase this.
Make sure he's out alive. 5-8 in the back of this turret. Wizard forced out. Goes pop by Christmas Trees just to make sure no one can catch up. And that middle turret is the next victim of X5's lineup. They either look at the Baron, which is live, or Dragon. But what you can safely say here, Mendrix, is that they are ahead, and they are making great plays.
Yeah, all they really need to do is put some control down in the Baron pit to make sure that TM don't go for any cheeky sneaks. Did they catch Guts?
Guts was backing. Does he go down here? Yes, he does. Shut down. And it goes to Praetus.
Okay. So, just make sure you're back in better areas, guys. That'd be lovely. TM actually can go for the Baron here. They've already got control of it. All they need to do is clear the waves out. They do need to worry a little bit about Christmas Trees, but with the control that's going there, the safer choice is going to be that Dragon. It is an Infernal Drake, so both these teams would love to have that underneath their belt. They've got 15 seconds before Guts is up, so they have the ability to rush this because they do have 2 ADs. XL5 really just need to put in the delay if possible.
This is the Infernal. This is highly contested and Only's found crazy.
Nah, I think TM's got this. X5 need to get out of there.
Only doing a lot of damage, but Crazy quite safe. There's the teleport. They're going to contest this. The ball's there. They go back, and it is secured. Okay, Infernal secured by Tainted Minds.
Christmas Trees was deleted.
And, no.
So you got Squidgy at least.
Squidgy was deleted in turn.
That's completely fine for TM. That's completely fine. So they traded kills. They got the Dragon. Everything you really could want to happen there. Christmas Trees thought he was great with that initial engage that he went for. The TP was a little bit late. I would have liked it to be there just a little bit earlier. That might have actually stopped the Dragon from happening in his tracks before they had a chance to get in there. And TM, they're getting into decent victories at the moment. XL5 probably going to see if they can pick up the objective off the backs of Tainted Minds here. I think they've got this, actually.
They do find this mid lane push, like you said, and XL5 off that Dragon, looking to contest and find another pick. But 5-8, Not landing that dredge line means that they just get the turret, they get out. The gold is neck and neck once again. You know, that Infernal was picked up by Tainted Minds. They have Praedyth in this bottom lane with no tier 2 turret, and the wave's going to continue to push. XL5 back off, and TM just reset their jungle with Only, who's still ahead. But 5 kills on Guts, I guess you could say, means he's not ahead. Because that Rengar is getting big, and he's going for his 3rd item, and the gold difference between the two. Actually, no, it's not as big as I thought it would be. It's Only's
been farming up
100 gold.
Storm. Yeah, Army's been
gold.
farming up Storm. They've got more turrets as well. I know they've got the same amount of turrets, but Only's been there getting most of the localized gold in the process, so that's why he's probably keeping up, even though Guts has got a lot of kills on his, basically underneath his belt, or on his necklace, as I like to say. He's got a necklace that he likes to stack up as time goes on.
Yes.
And
yes, Medrix.
yes, I know some more guys, I do, but thing here is now all of a sudden TM have the teleport advantage. So as you can see, they're basically putting a lot of control now around that Baron, and really with Praedyth here, he's more than happy to force this out. They will not have it. Here comes an engage.
Oh, Guts walks blindly into that rush, but 3 members won't be enough from Tainted Minds. They force them back. X5 reset again. Tainted Minds, what can they get? I mean, they are setting up vision control. X5 just trying to contest right now, make sure that Baron is not snuck under them. But like you said, I mean, this Nautilus is going to be huge, and there's going to be a lot of damage coming through with the Rengar as well. There is going to be scaling on X5's side, and you said they have the better team composition. So
both these teams have decent scaling. Both these team compositions can work in the late game. But the thing is, like I said, XL5 are more rounded in terms of what they have. Just having that tank gives you so many more options around the map. Can we go for this dive as TM? Probably not. Someone's just going to die to the tower. Can we go for this dive of XL5? Hell yeah! Nautilus, you go first. That's like one of the good things that you can go for. You've got more decisions, more choices when you have a better rounded team composition. And it is going to be tough. You know, even if TM managed to get a decent lead, probably in the next, say, 5 to 10 minutes, it's still going to be tough for them to break the base because they just don't have that rounded composition. Whereas XL5, they get that lead, they can pretty much just win the game in the next 5-2 minutes if they're the ones that get ahead.
I'm definitely waiting for Crazy to pick up that Trinity Force. I mean, you've got 2 80 damage sources, so I wouldn't expect the Iceborne Gauntlet again. It's quite a niche pickup now for the itemization of Ezreal. Like we said, he's got the Sheen, he's moving towards that 3rd item. The Trinity Force on Ezreal, as you all know, is quite dangerous.
Sees him. He can land a stun.
Guts parallel convergence actually gets the stun up. Praedyth runs, hits the blast cone, and after a quick phase dive, Guts can't chase.
And all of a sudden, TM goes straight for Baron. So really now this is XL5 need to collapse quickly in order to stop this from happening. Otherwise, TM do get that advantage that they do need.
They pull off the Baron. Christmas Trees does a bit of damage with that Death Ray. They're going to rotate around, try and cut them off. No, maybe just get the ward clearance. Scuttle Crab secured, so they can't re-engage the Baron, but Only might have to be careful. Yep, just ducks out.
And this is great for XL5 because now all of a sudden 5-8's got his teleport basically up. By the time TM can reset up for another basically ward and vision advantage on that Baron, 5-8 will be able to be there. So this is good now. They can match the teleport of Praedyth, so TM missed an opportunity to make a play work. And 5-8's more than happy to push this out. But as you can see, he's sort of been relegated to this bottom side of the map because the pushing pressure from Praedyth is just so fast. As you can see, he just gets through it so much quicker now because he has been building damage. It means he can just tear through waves the moment he throws out that Time Winder.
Of course, that Rift Herald is great on the burst as well.
Oh, absolutely something that helps him out. But 5-8's been doing a good job dealing with it as well, not letting himself die because Praedyth does have the ability to all in him if he catches him in a long lane. So Praedyth doesn't need to be careful. 5-8 needs to be careful in that 1v1 situation.
Everyone backing off from Tainted Minds. They just leave the Baron alone. The pit is warded. And both teams not really looking for this second 50-50 Baron. I dare say playing it a little bit safer XL5. This second game, if lost, means they go into the OCS again. You know, back when they came up with Suman in the roster and they came into the OPL for the first time, looking like a promising team, now fighting just to stay alive. OPL has been a really trying split for them. But to put it against TM would be a great success story. It would be the underdog story of sorts. The last seed taking it to seed number 6. Tainted Minds just want to get back in the OPL. I mean, these players, a fairly new roster. Praedyth still there, still strong, and a guy that's been working his butt off in the past couple of years to be at this point.
And what I love about both these teams is that they are really fighting their hearts out at the moment to make sure that both of them
touching.
Been making pretty good plays across the board, and it really does come down to who's going to be better on the day. Because XL5, I know a lot of people are saying they've been struggling in the splits, but when they play well, they play well. And same for TM at this point in time. And really, whoever does have those, really, if XL5 have 2 good moments of brilliance, they'll win this game. If TM, at the moment where they're looking at, if they have 1 moment of brilliance because of extra damage side, they can win this game. So it's sort of on TM to make 2 great things happen. And again, XL5 can do this again in the next game to get the win. And TM also have to sort of make these 1 exceptional plays, but they have to get the objectives off. That seems to be the issue both these teams have, is that there's these great plays happens afterwards, and they seem to just squander the objectives.
Rengar going bot towards that Mountain Drake to TM, make the play up top or go for the Baron. You'll find out next time, because we're going to be looking at the Mountain Drake. Okay, Kratos on the other side. Going to use the Time Winder. Christmas Tree just walks.
Has he used his ulti? Just use your ulti, mate. Clear the wave.
Has to clear the wave. Like you said, Redemption's going to come down. It's going to heal him back up. Ulti to clear the wave. Ultimate from Ezreal.
This
Only
works.
now under fire, has to flash. Taintermind's almost getting that turret as well. It's going to take some chip damage, but 29 minutes into the game. And again, everything diffused.
And that's a win there. I mean, they managed to hold the turret. They managed to get a few of the summoners outside of there. Another pause coming through. And the Mountain Drake goes through to X5. And that's really big to have, because that means that now all of a sudden a Baron Rush is a threat. All of a sudden, if they decide to put themselves, down for a base race, they'll probably end up winning that because they've got that extra Mountain Drake to get that 10% damage on the turrets. So more options now opening up for XL5 going into that. And a big win because the turret's still up. That's standing gold there. Even though it's sitting on, Stiff Breeze will knock it away. Big thing about it is that it's still standing gold that they don't have access to.
A Stiff Breeze. Yep. So just going to blow at the turret. Crumbles. Imagine if he just
a Jarno Tornado just knocks it away.
Imagine if Sunfire Cape could affect turrets. Wouldn't that be great? That'd be a bit OP, wouldn't it? Because I
don't know if it would be OP, but I think it's just unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, it's just unnecessary, really.
Nothing's unnecessary in League of Legends. If you have just joined us, if you joined us at a precarious time, we are in the middle of a pause and we'll get back into game shortly, but Tainterminds have picked up the first game and looking to clean the series out 2-0. As you can see on your board, they have a 2k gold lead. They have the same amount of turrets as XL5, but they've got an Infernal Drake under their belts. Kratos with Rift Herald right now is a threat. He's going for Rabadon's third, which is, just interesting to see on an Echo, but going for the flat AP, looking to just take names, write checks. He's out of bubblegum, something about, now he's on to you.
I'd say probably now he'd want to go into his tanky stats because he wants to have the ability to sort of survive any engages that he goes for.
So he's going for a pseudo, is that what you...
Yeah, I'd say he's just, his typical move is I'm just going to kill the squishies. I'm not going to worry about this massive Nautilus. I'm just going to try and dive right past him. If I can deal with Crazy, Christmas Trees, or T-Gun, or even Guts, then that's fine, because that means, shortly afterwards, Nautilus before, and the rest of my damage will deal with that, or the rest of my team can deal with that. And that's why he needs to have just a little bit of tankiness, because when he does dive into that, he wants to be able to get out, not trade 1-for-1, he wants to survive that.
Yeah, but still waiting for that Trinity Force third item. I think that's a real point we need to highlight, because when Ezreal gets it, the XL5 start their fight, or do they just continue to play it like they are? Nice and slow, waiting for a mistake.
Nice and slow, really. Because they really can just sit back. I mean, the great thing about having Ezreal is he's more than happy to sit there in a siege composition. You don't need to start something when you've got a Victor. They've got great kite back. We saw it happen in that initial fight up in the top lane where they managed to save the turret. Although a lot of ultimates had to be used to keep Christmas Trees alive, he was able just to kite it back, throw his Death Ray out, immediately put out his own Chaos Storm, and that forced a flash out of Only. That's something that's down. They're going for a fight now.
Goes in. Wow, that's a good Wild Growth ultimate from Ezreal. It's going to get 2 hits, but a quick redemption. Okay.
So they forced a flash out of tilting there. They've got good control on this Baron now.
But is it good enough to start the Baron?
Nah, probably not good enough now in this situation.
Kratos taking a lot of damage from 5 to 8. He's starting to scale up. Guts goes back in, finds tilting. Another redemption, but this time it's XL5. Christmas Trees is following up. He gets the speed onto Only. Does he have the ultimate? Death Ray, collateral damage. Boulder Strike not going to slow anyone down this time. Christmas Trees backs away out of fear of his life.
Yeah, Christmas Trees went a bit too ham there, I have to say.
He loves ham.
He loves it. Yeah, typically he goes in there. Really what you need to do is just stay behind your team. You're more than happy to use your Death Ray in that. If you got... Because, I mean, you saw what happened there. Only got the better trade. Only definitely got the better trade. They forced them out again of the situation. Now, the thing is with Christmas Trees, one good combo, one good Wizard ultimate, one good combination from Squidgy, he dies.
He got the Honey Fruit, though, so maybe 2. this time around.
Oh, true, you got the honey fruit. Yep, that's right.
Shockwave available, ace in the hole as well. Chrono Break if Praetor decides to teleport in.
See, this is much better from what he's doing. He's got the ledge from protection. He's just going to shoot out the Death Rays from behind. He's fine. He's got range as an advantage. You don't need to walk into melee range of Graves there.
Tainted Minds unsure where to go next. They're leaving Praetor in a side lane just to clear things up. He joins mid for a second after clearing a ward. He will be hiding in the fog of war. Rift Herald still available, will expire shortly in the next 5 minutes.
That's going to be a big deal as well, because Praetor all of a sudden loses a lot of power going into those side waves. He's going to continue building more damage here, so he's going to be one squishy guy. And we've seen Guts blow him up the moment he gets CC'd as well, so this is a bit of a risky build coming from Praetor, because I'm expecting him to go straight into avoid stuff. So he wants to actually deal with 5-8. He wants to be able to go into a side lane and say, you know what, I've got magic penetration now, you cannot fight me.
Up into the top lane, Tainted Minds refocus their attention on that turret. That can be blown away with a simple sea breeze. Crazy almost caught. T-Gun runs away. Praetus is there, gets the shield, goes in, Protobelt, finds the proc. Big shutdown for Tainted Minds. This turret goes down as well.
And here you go, that's what we're talking about with Praetor. If now he's at that point where he's like, yep, I can take any squishy that I deal with there. He didn't even need to use his flash. He just jumped straight onto him. It was like happy days.
Level 17 Echo Mendrix.
Well
That's
done,
what he's going to do.
And this just opens up a lot for TM now. So TM, like, it really just don't be careful, guys. Watch out, no.
Guts, 1, 2, 3, Time Winder gets that Z Drive resonance. Tainted Minds start the Baron. Thrill of the Hunt has been popped. Tainted Minds continue up the Baron. Praetus is around here, gets Parallel Convergence, looking for the stun on Christmas trees. Chrono Break back in. 5-8, tanking up everything. Good ultimate, but there's no follow-up. X5 want to disengage, but can they? Yep, the answer this time, I can answer for you. It's going to be yes after T-Gun slows everyone down.
And this is good. This is really the best sort of situation for XL5 there. Now that they've got Crazy back up, and now all of a sudden everyone needs to watch out from Praetor on XL5. So all those squishies need to go, damn, we cannot be too separate away from everyone else at the moment. We really do need to be making sure we're holding hands when we go into these. Make sure we keep control of everything, because there's just a lot of damage on that TM side.
Out. Okay, Crazy going to pick up red buff. 3k gold difference for Tainted Minds. That pick play worked out so well for them.
It looks like they want to make their own pick play here. So this is what's good about this here is that if someone decides to keep on pushing up the lane, they can just go for it. As you can see, only decided to go the other way, so that worked out for him.
Flash stretch line, 2 flashes burnt for it.
That would work. That is worth every day of the week.
Ow.
2 flashes for 1 flash. 2 birds with 1 stone.
Game's getting tense. I mean, you could cut it. As said, I was going to quote. No, I was going to say with a Doran's Blade. I think that was used somewhere else.
I think with a Doran's Blade?
I think that was used in the OPL article, you know, and I may or may not have read that, but Tainted Minds still positioning around this Baron, getting their ward control back in action. 5-8 in the top lane. Has teleport available, but he's near the Baron anyway. Could probably just walk to it.
Is there any better blades for that line that you can go with? Blade of the Ruin King. You can cut it with a Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah.
You can cut it with a
Sword of the Occult.
Oh,
remember that?
That
was a beautiful item.
Good memories.
That was like, hey, I'm a Zed. I've got 8 kills and the Sword of the Occult. Do you want to surrender now or do you want to surrender later?
No, it's fine. You just do what all Zeds do and like overcommit for an ADC and get blown up.
What do you mean all Zeds?
Oh, most Zeds end up doing that.
Because you can't play Zed.
That's because I'm one of those Zeds, mate. Here we go.
All right.
Good TP's coming through. Praetor, he's on the other side of the Baron pit, so they got control of that there.
XL5, after starting Baron, disengage. Good ultimate from 5-8, not followed up by XL5. After quick redemption and going on to Praetus, has Chrono Break, so you don't want to overcommit too hard. And there's XL5's redemption. Okay, we're back at square one. And this... they know that if they lose this game...
A little bit of a sortie coming through there.
If they... It's like, guys, if we lose this, we go to OCS.
Oh, that's what everyone's thinking at the moment.
Praetor's caught out Guts. He's been stunned up. Doesn't find the 3rd hit of the time winder.
TM can just take the start. Never mind. That's a big Chaos Storm, just clearing everything out. TM do not want any bar of that Chaos Storm, but now that they know that big ultimate's down, they can probably just continue rotating around these objectives and just moving from wave to wave at the moment.
XL5 in the middle of this jungle. After clearing out bot side, Christmas Tree's probably going to join. But Elder Drake has been started up by
Oh, this is going to be a big one.
This is a bold move. 5 to 8's off on the side. He has GA available. Only still in the pit. Praetor's going for the burst. Finds Crazy. He gets hit. He goes down. That's one big member. Tainted Minds are split, but Praetor's still in front. The damage out of this Echo
going crazy.
is too hard to deal with. Christmas Tree shuts him down, however. It's 1 for 2 to kick things off, and 5 to 8 has not found the engage. This time around, Squidgy caught out.
Damage.
Good shockwave though, and Christmas Trees goes down. They're now onto Only, but Guts gets exhausted. He gets ignited, sorry. A shutdown for the Orianna. 5 to 8, the last one left. It may have been messy, but Tainted Minds will clear this out. Only does he go down. Not this time. An ace for Tainted Minds.
All right, and they should be able to get the Elder Drake off this, and from there they can just sort of rotate, go to the Baron again. They got the advantage by having this Elder Drake on their side. So all of a sudden TM are now in control there. It was very messy, but Praetor really putting the team on his back there, managed to get those 2 kills. This is what we were talking about before. I'm going to bypass the tank, I'm going to deal with the squishies, and that's going to basically the rest of my team afterwards be able to deal with whatever mess is available, and that's exactly what happened, and they get the Elder Drake because of it.
Tainted Minds find someone they can lean on, and Praetor up in that top lane, cleaning up 2.5 kills. You've got to give it to him. I mean, on the Echo, played it in the OCS split with Chiefs Black. He shows he can still pick it up and go that full AP.
Always been a pocket pick for Praetor.
It's just that, I mean, the guy has been a really strong top laner. Obviously not through the split itself, but individually on a micro level, we've got to give him a lot of praise. Tainted Minds now have that Elder Drake. It is only going to be an Infernal, but it is still amplified nonetheless. Tainted Minds, after clearing out the waves, they position around this Baron, and XL5 being 5k gold down now, almost 6, have to be careful with their next fight, because one more ace like that, and it could all be over for XL5's OPL experience.
That's right. Now Praetor is going to be such a monster as well as he goes down into it, because really, I don't think 5 to 8 has the ability to deal with him at the moment in this point in time. I think he's up enough in terms of his item build. There's still an extra 1 left for 5 to 8 to get in order to be a bit more tanky. Look how quickly he just pushes that up. He immediately gets pressure around the map. Oh, that big, he got the blue.
Now 5 to 8 is going to get out, and he's going to get the blue. He's actually picked up a Randuin's Omen for big boy Praetor there.
Yeah, it's good against, well, it's not against Praetor, it's mainly against Squidgy there. Big engage happening here.
Redemption doesn't
XR5
hit.
want no bar of this.
Crazy has to run away. Guts popping the ultimate as we go to another pause. Unfortunately, we're this close to finding out if Tainted Minds could take it, and we just take it away from you. Mendrix, the Echo pick is doing work. Like, in that last fight, if Praetor didn't go nuts, I fear that Tainted Minds were too split and would have just lost control.
And the big thing is, it comes down to this Elder Dragon play that went through. And let's have a quick look at that one, and while we're waiting for the game to come back into it. So you can see here, Praetor just jumps straight away onto the squishies. Unfortunately, the whole team jump on that blast cone, completely isolate poor Crazy. And this just allows Praetor to just jump onto everyone here. Now, Christmas Trees does a good job just to finish him off afterwards. Now, we're going to be speeding everything up a little bit here, but at this point in time, it's 4 on 3. Great shockwave by Wiz to clean up Christmas Trees on the side. He doesn't have any more of his abilities left in this, and then this is just what happens when you've lost 2 members already. Praetor basically did all the groundwork. TMR just allowed to sort of deal with everyone else afterwards. 5 to 8, you're a tanky man, but you're not that tanky against 3 members. And now TM are in a commanding position. To
be fair, if XL5 didn't get any picks, that could have spelled disaster for them and potentially the loss of the game right there and then. But XL5, everything's still on the line, and just because they lost the Elder Drake doesn't mean they can't try and steal the Baron or go in for a big Baron power play. Tainted Minds may look comfortable, but one slip up and XL5 are back into the seat of control, or at least into some kind of measurable gold lead. If we have a look at XL5's run through this promotion tournament, we can say it's been very close. And a moment like this is no exception. Going up against Outlaws, they came in, they lost the second game. They took out the first one very convincingly, but the second game, Outlaws fought back. When X5 make mistakes, it's easy to capitalize on, and we've seen it with Tainted Minds. As we go back to this game number 2 and we join the Rift once more, 6k gold disadvantage. What can be done about it? What do XL5 now have to do?
So this 6k isn't the biggest deal. We are, at the point where everyone's at that 5 item mark, so players generally just get destroyed immediately. Here we go now, going for this Baron play here.
They don't commit. They run away. Tainted Minds use the Inspire. Baron resets once more.
Oh, Christmas Trees, he's in a bad spot, mate.
Yeah, he tries to speed himself up. He's not going to get it. Praetus with the burst again. Christmas Trees caught out. Tainted Minds following this fight. Big shockwave. It goes on to 5 to 8. He's still a huge frontline. Uses the ultimate 4 members. Can they kite this back? They're running away. Praetus is big. With the help of shields, with the help of the Karma, they won't find the speed up. They won't find the catch.
Well, they only managed to get one catch, which is a Christmas Tree, so he has his ultimate that he didn't use there. He could have easily just dropped that down immediately, see if he could get some damage off onto that team now. But this might have just opened up the Baron for Tainted Minds. This really is going to be a big deal now. It's all going to come down to Guts, whether he can get the steal or not.
Is the ultimate. Baron is going to go down to Tainted Minds, however, and Guts goes in. He takes one, but he dies himself. This time it's 5 to 8. Gets Wizard. A shutdown. Could be good for XL5 as Praetus is running for his life. Crazy goes in. Gets a lot of damage. A flash from Only. They're still chasing it up. Crazy cannot contest. Ace in the hole. Blocked by Crazy. He jumps in after a flash. He finds the Caitlyn. It's a 3-for-1. Yes, Tainted Minds get Baron, but they go down.
Yeah, they still have Baron on some members here. The chase is on. They're trying to get onto Only T-Gun.
Only stop for Raptors. Does he get polymorph? T-Gun still chasing. Won't find it. No. Redecides, goes over, flashes over the wall.
Oh no,
T-Gun
there.
goes
Why?
down. The overcommit. Crazy as well. Oh.
Okay, so really at that point in time, you should have just cut your losses, got on out of there. You basically had everything that you needed to keep going at that point in time. You could have actually held off against that Baron purely because of your team composition. And in the end now, all of a sudden you've got 2 guys dead. You got your TM line popping up soon. They could go for a siege, see if they can actually get something before Crazy and T-Gun get back on the Rift.
They do clear out waves, however, on the side of XL5 and make sure that because of that, no one is capitalized on. Trying to find some positives out of that, but getting that big team fight. Let's look at that before we look at those 2 kills. So TM do get the Baron Mendrix, but getting those picks, very influential, would you not say?
Definitely influential, and it shows what XL5 can do when they protect their carries.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden, when Crazy is not being deleted before the start of the fight, when Christmas Trees or Guts aren't being deleted, they're actually able to get their damage off, and Praetus is sitting in the backline, unable to get to where he wants to go. All of a sudden, XL5 have the team composition in place to do it. They just haven't been able to find that fight yet. And right there, they had it. They overchase, yes, they do, but TMs do realize, you know what, we do have to be careful, because if Praetus doesn't get the kills, we're in trouble. And Christmas Trees, good flash.
Flashes out of the shockwave. Praetus finds him. Guts is in the back line. Redemption's going to heal everyone up. And Tainted Minds are cleaning. This mistake from XL5 is massive. Good ultimate from 5 to 8. It slows everyone down. But you cannot 1v5. Crazy trying to 1v1. Doesn't even find that. Praetus gets the kill. Inhibitor goes down. 3 people are dead from XL5. Make that 4. And Tainted Minds will be going back into the OPL for Split 2.
And really, if you have to look at that man on the screen there, Praetus, he's the one who really did start to make everything happen, and there was a lot of missed plays coming through from XL5 towards the end there. Christmas Trees getting caught out a fair bit. Ended up being a big factor coming into it, but Praetus really was the guy that sort of allowed the team to sort of never reach their team composition, and in the end, Tainted Minds take the win.
Of course, very impressive from Tainted Minds, aside from XL5 just getting a bit caught out there. But they did put on a good performance. They showed us why when they go to the OCS, if they keep the same roster, if they continue things there, they could be a real force to be reckoned with. We look at Tainted Minds' roster, and, you know, Squidgy and Tilting down in the bottom lane have just given us a great performance themselves. In the mid lane, Wizard used to be on Sin, now on the Tainted Minds roster. He's looked good as well. I mean, it's just the Tainted Minds that could potentially show up in the OPL for Split 2.
Yeah, and really just had solid performances across the board with everyone there. And the big thing is I do want to just touch on Praetus again, because the thing was, he was the one that really allowed the team to shine at the end. To get those kills, and then for them, and then have faith in them to say, yep, I've done my job, now it's time for you guys to clean up. And they did just that afterwards. Good shockwaves afterwards. Yeah. Really good play from Squidgy to, you know, make sure that he remained alive and put those traps down in the appropriate areas to allow for those sieges and force the mistakes out of XL5.
As easy as that. Well, unfortunately, that's all you're going to see of my face for this split and Mendrix, but he will be back for the grand final. which is going live tomorrow at 5 p.m. Can Legacy take on Direwolves? Can Direwolves come through and clean house? Congratulations to Regicide. Congratulations to Outlaws. That's it for the split of Promotion Tournament. Tainted Mind, sorry. Almost had it clean. I'll see you next time, guys. See you at the finals.